Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. Welcome on this Saturday, excuse me, March 23rd, 2024, to the 936th episode of The Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream, with me, Dave Lefkowitz, and my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, making all the noises, making all the good things here on every Saturday, really, that we do this mix of humor and talk and music and interviews and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and this is so great because last week, I made a big deal
of the sun.
of the fact that yeah, tell.
I don't know. I want to see. Is it supposed to rain today?
It's raining now.
Oh, okay.
It's pouring.
Oh.
So yesterday when last week when we did the show,
you were saying you're so happy that it was the first time you couldn't believe it was sunny.
it was this rare time, this rare Saturday, because we live in Baltimore, northern Baltimore, and we generally get a lot of nice sunny days. Not like Colorado, but we get.
You know what precipitation is?
It's rain. Yeah. What? No.
No, 100%.
Is it? Well, there you go.
And it says intermittent rain continuing till 2:10 p.m. So at 2:11 we'll be fine.
The Doppler 9000.
I mean, David, how can it be? Like, I've never seen it where it predicts
to like the minute
2:10
till 2:10, as opposed to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4. No, 2:10 p.m. The rain goes away.
Exactly 2:10.
That's hilarious.
I don't under. How can that be?
That's what they do. But the joke of it is, last week we had this rare, beautiful Saturday morning. The sun was streaming in. There was barely a cloud in the sky. It was so rare because we always get on here Saturday mornings on Facebook doing Dave's Gone By.
It's so weird.
And it's always gray, and it's always grim, and it's always rainy. And I need to convince people, it's like, most of the week is not like this.
You remember the Counting Crows song? It's
raining in Baltimore.
Baby.
Yeah.
Nothing else seems quite the same.
So, it is kind of same. I would get on here, and I have to use, lighting, as opposed to just letting the sun do the work in where we tape, or where we broadcast live. And it's kind of like that one day. I said, you see, I really do live in a lovely place. I really do live in a place that gets, lovely lawns and trees and sunshine. Today, we're back to it's pouring outside. It's grim. It's pure clouds. Yeah, show me.
Oh,
downtown.
One of the chickens just kicked in.
Oh no! Oh,
I heard the plop.
I heard them. They're using them for Easter, I guess. Downtown Baltimore clouded by smoke from massive scrap metal fire at recycling center. Yeah. And this is, I guess, right now. And smoke from 2 alarm fire could be seen for miles, including nearby Camden Yards and M&T Bank Stadium. So we will get that.
I'm going to give you some sloths you can throw on your wall.
Slothies, yes.
You need to fill up the...
Where are the old sloths?
I don't know where they went, and I don't want to know because they're kind of sticky.
Well, yeah, yeah. Anywho, thank you. Oh, this is my phone. Thank you for this.
I'm sorry, David.
Yeah, so I'm just going to throw
I didn't
down.
check up. I could look up the Merriam-Webster word of the day.
No, we just started. We just started the show. It's Dave's Gone By. I love it. We just started the show, and we're already 6 minutes in. How does that happen? But anyway, on this grim, rainy, cold-ish Saturday morning, remember when it was like 70 degrees 2 weeks ago?
I remember because we shop on the weekend,
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was like summer.
And we all thought the groundhog was right. Spring has come early. Everything's going to be gorgeous. And then suddenly, it went down to 40 again. And then we get weather like, come on. What was it? Yesterday, 2 days ago, was the first day of spring? Everybody jumps the gun now. Everybody thinks because we're so used to the stores, pre-stocking.
They have Easter stuff here.
Yeah, so Halloween begins in August.
Chickens? You want some backup chickens?
Well, these are not going to stay. I'm going to throw these against the wall.
Would you like backup chickens? That's the question.
Don't open a new chicken patch because they're fine. It's just tape won't make them stick. So here, let's try this sloth. This is a sloth, and what's cool about him, this is not underpants. This is actually like gooey, stretchy stuff. that when you toss him against a wall, he will not only stick to the wall, but slowly make his way down.
I think that's
as a sloth
they're
would.
called sloth walkers. Toss them on a wall, make them crawl.
Here we go. Okay, so there he is.
Aim one high so it can.
Yeah, well, yeah, eventually it'll come down. That's right. Here we go. Wow. Well, not that high. All right. Let's see.
Oh, they look cute. Look how you did it. They look like they're at the disco.
Yeah. Whee! So, and what will happen is they'll slowly unstick from the wall a bit, but they'll flip down like sea monkeys.
Look at the one's leg is like inward. Look. He's like this, kicking his leg sideways.
He may have broken his leg and being slammed against the wall. That would happen.
That could happen.
He may have wrenched his leg. Unfortunately, I've got to sit like this now in order for you to see them make their progression down the wall. But anywho, so that's today here in Northern Maryland. My wife and I are doing this 936th episode of the show. It's called The Suzuki Method. There's nothing to do with music. The Suzuki Method, because guest in the Daverhood, notice I didn't even say the guest in the Daverhood because I'm using Asian sort of speech, is a guy named John Suzuki. And he's this fella. I met him months ago at a conference, shall we say.
He was working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
That's right. He didn't want me, baby. No, but we met at a publicity summit, is what they call it.
Oh, yeah.
I never had a chance to have him on, so he was back at another summit that I went to this past week. And so he's on today, because he's got a good story to tell, a book that he has written, true story, about a Japanese guy who, in World War II, American Japanese family, he's telling, John Suzuki is telling these stories of American Japanese on the West Coast who, because they looked how they looked, because their last names were Asian, because they were assumed to be enemies. So he corralled all these people, put them in internment camps, which in retrospect wasn't nice, but during the confines of a racial war, different times, but they did this, and he and many, many others volunteered to fight on our side for the Allies during World War II. 125,000 people of Japanese descent in 75 incarceration sites, according to Wikipedia, or is this Wiki? It is something, it's probably Wiki. So there. And so fair or not, that's what was done. But this idea of, hey, I'm an American, I just happen to have Japanese ancestry or came over here, many years ago and assumed to be the enemy, and then proving, in the greatest proof that you can possibly do, laying down your life.
He wrote you at 12:45 a.m.
Well, I'm sorry, what?
He wrote you at 12:45 a.m.
Oh, did he? Yeah, what did he say?
Here are some ideas.
Oh, good. Ideas for the show? Yeah, I'll give it a look. Oh, thank you. I didn't even see that. And by the way, the reason he has time to write a book and to do this and to promote it is he spent 40 years in the high-tech sector. Oh, wow. So he's very comfortably retired, and now he's giving back, if you will. And he does a lot of motivational speaking and
philanthropic or no?
Yeah, absolutely philanthropic stuff. But American Grit is John Suzuki's book. American Grit.
Name. That's a great name.
So,
that's a great name.
Yeah, and he gives his website and all of that. So we'll meet him. We're going to meet him in a little less than an hour here on Dave's Gone By. A guy named John Suzuki. It's not his story. It's not his father's story or anything like that. But it's a story he felt was certainly worth telling and telling on this show. So he will be our guest, and he will be speaking not with me. Speaking of race, speaking of ethnicity, he will be talking to the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon, who's going to have a busy day on Dave's Gone By today, because we're also bringing him in to do his Rabbinical Reflection. These are mini sermons that he will periodically give. Great picture, huh? That he will periodically give on the program.
David, let me ask you, do you have to have a headshot? How? Because they took my picture for school and I looked like a wreck of the Hesperus. Like,
No, it's not decent. It was 15 years ago, but it was
No,
a
not
decent.
that one. No,
Oh,
not that one. The one that you're critiquing, I actually like. It's one they took recently. Like, how do you get a good picture if it's not a headshot?
you hire when
You gotta get
if
a
it's not a
photographer.
headshot.
You gotta hire a pic.
If you
This
if you
looks like
do a regular,
professional,
very simple. You take 100 pictures, and out of those 100, you're gonna find 3 or 4 bird.
yeah. But you have to get.
Oh, I think it's a
It's those
junco.
baby birds. Like they're. Oh my God, David! They're the very small ones.
There's a junco bird there. Yeah.
And also, I was reading a little while ago. You should tie a orange bow on your trees, a big orange bow on your flowers, because that attracts pollinators.
Like bees or
Yes,
bird.
yes.
I want to attract bees.
I know.
I don't let bees scare me.
Here, hold the die.
If it would attract butterflies, for shiz. Love to see
No.
butterflies. It attracts bees. They said that is certainly a good thing for the ecology.
Do you want your
For
tea?
pollen. Yeah, let me have a sip, please.
You want me to make you tea?
Later, when
Okay.
I like before. Actually, I only get Rabbi Sol might need it for
Okay.
just
Well,
trying to who.
after he's wearing after he comes in,
Yeah.
I understand.
But anyway, yeah. No, I mean, tie an orange ribbon around your old oak tree, and if you want bees, a lot of people do. I do not want to walk outside and actually step on a beehive. I don't care how good they are
The big fuzzy bees don't hurt you.
So they say.
Unless you dress like a flower or a unicorn.
Yeah, there you go. They're those colors, man. So, but I was telling you about Rabbi Sol Solomon that he does these sermons, these mini sermons, about 5 minutes long or so, where very often he'll talk about the world at large or issues in Judaism. But today, not so much of that. It's Purim almost. Tonight begins the Jewish holiday of Purim that goes into tomorrow. And Purim is a fun one. Purim is one of those rare Jewish holidays that has a happy ending. Well, actually, we're still here, so they all have a happy ending per se. But they're generally, it's a good time. You're supposed to get drunk. You're supposed to dress up in costumes. You're supposed to dance around and read the story of how once more we were saved from annihilation. So Rabbi Sol is going to tell some jokes. Yes, yeah. Is this about me or Rabbi Sol?
That's
both
the
of
word
us?
of the day.
Oh, all right, hold on. I'll get to it. So Rabbi Sol will be offering his Rabbinical Reflection, but they're going to be Jewish jokes, as he likes to do periodically, all in fun. So he'll be doing that and talking to John Suzuki on this episode of the show. Also, Joyce has found our Webster's Dictionary Word of the Day. So here's the deal. We do a segment called Dave's Big...
Oh, sorry. I'm going to find it in here. I'm sorry, David.
Yeah. Dave's Big Dictionary, where Joyce will randomly find a word and then point to it or pick it out, and then I will have to extemporize about it for a couple of minutes to sort of say whatever comes into my head, whatever that word brings, whether it's very direct or really tangential and disconnected, it's kind of like on me to make up stuff.
I don't think it's in your dictionary.
Pedantic is not in the dictionary?
P-E-D-A-N, right?
Yeah.
It's not here.
Maybe pedant is in there and pedantic is
Pedant, yeah, person, yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, could you... Oh, I'll read it. Okay. Here's the Merriam-Webster Dictionary of pedantic.
Phone first, probably.
All right, hold on. All right, here we go. What? Let me set my cookies. I do not want cookies on this. What the? Look, this is what happens. I go to look at the word pedantic. It gives me Reinbach.
No, give it to me. No.
I don't want Reinbach.
Right here.
Unless it'll help my shoulder. Here we go. Okay. Pedantic, which is an adjective, of course, and it's pedantic. P as opposed to p.
I said pedantic.
Yeah, but
like
they have
pedagogy.
P-I-H.
Pedagogy.
P. Right. Pedagogy. Pedophile.
Like Pelmoldivar.
Pedantic sometimes, pedantic describes someone or something that exhibits the characteristics of a pedant. That is, a person who often annoys other people by correcting small errors and giving too much attention to minor details. Pedantic also means narrowly, stodgily, and often ostentatiously learned. And they even use it in a sentence. This is very cool. Their habit of reminding fellow birders that the bird is called a Canada goose and not a Canadian goose came across as pedantic rather than helpful. Yeah, absolutely. Several attendees walked out of the lecture due to the pedantic nature of the presentation. And you know how I love the word peduncle, right? Which is on a manatee. And here, look that one up.
Is peduncle their little fin?
It's like this weird thing that guides them. It's yeah. Please. Peduncle. But that's not the word of the day.
Watching that show and that detective looked like a manatee.
Yes.
That was cute.
But I love the word peduncle. But today's word is pedantic. I'm writing it down so I remember. And the definition in this version of the dictionary is, I hope the same, a person who makes a show of knowledge. A formal, uninspired teacher, aka his piano teacher, was a pedant. So pedantic is the adjectival form of pedant. So that's really not a helpful example. His piano teacher was a pedant. You would figure when you're giving an example of something that you would have something that is more clear.
The tapered area before the tail.
The what area before the tail?
Tapered area before the tail.
Bulbous also tapered. That's right. So pedantic is going to be the word of the day in our Dave's Big Dictionary segment. So we have that on the show. We also have Greeley Times, where, excuse me, thanks to the Greeley Tribune newspaper, a real newspaper out there in northern Colorado. Hold on, Joyce has found a manatee. I love them. And let's look for parts of the manatee.
Well, this is an illustrated one.
Every time I touch this thing, there's back to downtown Baltimore. But there's a thing right before the tail part that is called the peduncle. And it's cute. Every part of a manatee is cute. Don't you love manatees? I don't know. It's my phone. It's a T-Mobile thing.
The rotation should be off.
So Joyce is turning off the rotation. While she does that, Greeley Times, which has to do with a column that appears weekly in the Greeley Tribune newspaper, and it's based on real stuff. It's people who call the police. Call the police department in northern Colorado, like Greeley and Evans and Johnstown, to report something crazy happening in the neighborhood. But the thing is, sometimes the phone calls are crazier than anything they're actually reporting. Well, all of this is public record. And the newspaper gets this info from the police department, strips the identifiers out, and publishes the funniest ones.
Hold it on the side.
We share them with you.
Hold it on the side.
Okay,
and
here we go.
And then you see the peduncle on the
Oh, look at it! I'm trying to get the words on there. Here's his flipper. We like that, right? Right? And then the peduncle.
It's right before the tail, I think.
Yeah, his fluke. Did you know that a manatee's tail is called a fluke?
I did not.
That's no fluke. It is a fluke. Yeah. Manatee. Love manatees. Look at them. Oh, those are eyes. That's an eye. Yeah. So cool. Anywho, and what else? What else is there? Oh, Bunyan Watch. We have Bunyan Watch today. This is where I almost bought shoes this week. We'll talk about this because I have no life, and this is the thing I talk about on the show.
No, you had beautiful.
Wait, don't leave that sentence hanging. I have beautiful what?
You're beautiful. I thought there was a picture of a baby sea cow being fed by National Geographic, but you have to log in.
I know National Geographic fed baby sea cows. But anyway, so many months ago now, I had on my first day of teaching for the fall semester, I had basically new shoes on. And it was rubbing on my... Yeah.
Somebody asked, can manatees be left or right flippered? You know how we're handed?
Oh!
That was the question.
And?
They don't show any dominance on flipper.
Oh, because it's all one thing.
Here. The peduncle is the base of the tail where it connects to the body of the manatee. That's the question. FAQ.
The FAQ about peduncles.
Manatees look really fat. But as they are not, after all, they feel the cold. Is this fattiness actually muscles?
Good
and it
question.
says, although they're big, they actually have very little body fat.
Oh, what the
They live in
hell?
cold water. They've developed insulation. A large part of their body is the gastrointestinal tract, which is the stomach and intestines. About 20% of their body weight, which is for the food they digest. Researchers believe the manatee size probably evolved as a result of being aquatic and having a plant-based diet. The plant manatees eat have low nutritional value, so they make up for it by eating a lot of
They
them.
eat a ton.
Yeah.
Of course, they literally eat a ton. Right.
This is very helpful.
I wonder if there have ever been manatee lives saved who have digestive problems where they had like stomas and colostomy bags.
They don't have
Like colostomy bags the size
Somebody
of
has
a
to-
room.
Do manatees sweat?
Would
They
they?
don't sweat. No, these are I think children's.
Do
questions.
any fish sweat?
Sirenians? What's that?
Oh, sirens. People used to confuse sailors. Not very bright sailors would confuse manatees with mermaids.
Oh, can manatees and dugongs mate?
Can they?
It says they've never been kept together in captivity, as far as they know.
Why
It
not?
says male dugongs are a bit territorial and probably wouldn't even share a tank with manatees.
Wow. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. It's like the North and South Vietnamese, the dugongs and the manatees.
Habitat protection.
Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hey, dugong, floating highward. Stay away from me. Don't know where I'm going with this. Have no idea where I'm going with this. Any more manatee information there?
It's just interesting. It's like things kids ask. Those are the cute ones.
Well, they're more than cute. It makes you sort of think, how do you do manatees sweat? Wait, do manatees? No, they couldn't possibly.
Also, manatee babies do swim. When they come out, they swim. They said
Oh, yeah, or else they die.
Yeah. The kid had their kids. They asked.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah.
They do swim.
Although we don't even think, we think of more of them floating rather than swimming, because they move so slowly and kind of. But I guess they're swimming. They got flippers and they've got their fluke and they have their peduncle. See, this is an educational program, ladies and gentlemen. Dave's gone by every Saturday here for your dilection. Is that the word? Yeah.
Oh wow! April 8th is going to be a solar eclipse.
Oh.
I didn't know that. I don't know where that is.
Hey, you know what March 31st is?
What?
March 31st, according to the calendar on the Wegmans supermarket.
Oh yes, the legitimate.
You want to say it? Want to say it?
I'll look it up.
Because I don't
What's
think
the name of
Wegmans
it?
is. Yes.
Okay. What is Tater Day in Maryland?
I think it's everywhere, not just Maryland.
This is National Tater Tot Day is February 2nd.
That's different. Tater tot is different.
Yes.
Tater tot is more of a Holocaust-y sort of a day.
National Tater Day, March 31st.
Yes.
Kentucky's having something here. And Nelly Sports Bras.
I'll look at that.
A tater tot.
No, the tots, not the tot. Although we did have the tater tot
You're
New
gonna get
Oregon
something
people on
jump
here.
up, so don't worry about it.
Well, I have to accept. Do you want me to accept?
No,
So manage options. Just no.
I'll get again.
Opt out or whatever. Yeah.
I don't know why your phone keeps turning. But it is that day.
So March 31st is, according to the calendar at Wegmans, Tater Day. And they should have probably made it the same day as St. Patrick's Day, which is coming. No, we passed that. We got Easter coming up. But Tater Day,
Your phone.
a celebration of Le Spud. I don't know how you're going to celebrate.
I don't know why your phone keeps turning.
Is the rotate thing off and it's still
Yeah, it's
rotating?
still doing it.
I can't even begin. It's T-Mobile. My phone does what it wants. It's not exactly top of the line.
Yes, it is.
I'm lucky I don't have a dial on it. That I'll have to go 4, 1, 0. It's like, yeah.
Okay, here you go.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not Maryland. National, I can't, if I point it down there.
Here, just click on the image.
National Tater Day. Sunday, March 31st, 2024.
See, that'll help you.
Look at
That's
that.
the image they had at Wegmans too.
Look at them. So round, so firm, so fully packed.
Do visit that site. You could.
Let's take a look. Boy, oh boy.
Who sponsors it?
I don't know. This is from Fundraisers Alley. I don't know why you would need to. I'm scrolling here. Ah. So you guys know that I collect a version of stuffed potatoes, not Mr. Potato Heads, but Mr. Potato Head knockoffs from 1996. So potatoes are a crucial piece of Dave's Gone By lore. So to know that coming up in it's another week or so, but March 31st, National Tater Day, whether you're celebrating sweet potatoes, no, not the same, tubers, but not the same, or starchy spuds, this is your holiday. Let's read this. This is from Eustonia Magazine, back in 2017, written by Victoria Haneveer.
Oh, no, what?
I wish I had them. When you get up, can you bring one of the potatoes down from the, he's up on that big shelf there. Oh, because I want to share this with them. Here's some imagery for you. Potato. It's story time. We're not doing story time today, but we're going to do some now because this is for you. Look at this potato. Oh my! Oh, that's my cousin Jethro. No, it's not your cousin Jethro. It's a sweet, but you're not even related. Oh, okay. Taters, potatoes. That's me. Spuds. That's also me. I'm confused. Whatever you call them, March 31st is the day to celebrate this humble vegetable. I'm the greatest! I'm the best! This humble vegetable, or pair of vegetables, National Tater Day. Guess when it started, Ben?
When?
Yeah, let me take a
1802.
You know what? Close enough. 1843.
Whoa.
Seriously. Is that like 6 or 7 years ago? Understand that potatoes are not the brightest bulbs. What? It celebrates the beginning of spring. Here we go.
Oh, really?
The townsfolk in parts of Kentucky will all meet up and trade in their sweet potato slips that were used to grow the plants.
Oh, wow.
Other goods like tobacco and livestock and guns were also sold or swapped on this day.
I like a sweet potato with butter and a Uzi.
So Kentucky. And I trade my shotgun for a pound of them taters, but it's the oldest continuous trade day in the country, in the United States, like the swap meet and all of this. But while tater meant sweet potatoes to the original celebrants, so it started with yams, except not really, yams are not actually sweet potato yams. The current definition of what folks are celebrating on March 31st extends to include...
This is like an expose.
I know, right? All this new stuff. There's guns involved. There's a mislabeling of what a tater is.
Sweet potato. I didn't know that. Good to know.
Yeah, this is like Woodward and Birnbaum. Kind of. All right. In Benton, Kentucky, where this unofficial national holiday is best, and why isn't it a national, like, federal holiday? Why do we get off something like Veterans Day?
It's a floating holiday. You can take it as a floating holiday. It's one of the floating.
Oh, can we float? No, they sink, don't they? Now, it is best known in Benton, Kentucky. They have games, floats, carnival rides, mule pulls.
Whoa, there you go.
You got to be real perv to do that. Sweet potato eating contests and, in quotes, who can grow the biggest potato competitions are the order of the day.
Wow.
Sweet potatoes are one of the main cash crops of that region.
Okay.
And National Tater Day is a day of celebration there, but why limit it to Kentucky? We all love potatoes, both sweet and not. And not. So, let's celebrate this holiday in style with some
fake potatoes, tofu.
Fries, wedges, tofu. Mashed potatoes.
He can't read, David. He can't read.
No, potato. Well, yeah, they're listing things that you do with potatoes that are not, very nice.
Yeah, but it's sweet potatoes, so what does he care?
Yeah. I'm sorry, potato. I didn't realize that would get traumatic. I want reparations. No, potato. Some Tater Day ideas. No. Not going to go there.
Oh, you read this. Read the few potato facts that'll come.
Here are a few potato facts. You're going to love this. No, sorry, potato. We'll
No, you can. I'm just giving you more.
more lead. Yeah,
Yeah.
with the phone. There are over 100
Wow.
potato varieties in the United States and more than
Really?
4,000 worldwide.
That's crazy.
I come from China land. He
Good,
does. He does.
yes.
His tag is from
No, but
China.
he's a
Potatoes were shipped from Europe to the colonies in the early 1600s, and today they are a large part of the typical American diet. Most people trace potatoes to Peru, if you remember that. We read about this.
Oh, yeah, so you're right. I remember that now.
Now, they're full of vitamin C. You see? And antioxidants. I hate those oxidants! And they have more potassium than a banana.
I should watch that.
You know, yeah.
We learned that.
So, let's all give potatoes some recognition by making them the star of the meal. Yeah, baby! Rather than a side dish. Gotta work on that. Try the following breakfast recipe if you want some inspiration. Served with OJ and coffee. I think OJ Simpson's still alive. Why would they cut him up like that? But I mean, we're going to avoid the recipe here. But sweet potatoes. So actually, we should have done this next week because 31st is still a week away. But if you need to plan, and this is what I don't get. Why don't they in Greeley, Colorado, where they would have Potato Day every year? You know, weather permitting. In where was it? What field was it again? What was it called?
Centennial Village.
Centennial Village. Every time I get handed my stupid phone.
It's okay, give it to me.
But they would have Potato Day like the second or third week in September or late August.
Potato Day, Centennial Village, Greeley.
Why they wouldn't do it on National Potato Day, which is March 31st, I do not know.
Yeah, but it's very funny because remember the picture? You were in all the pictures and then they canceled it. Yeah.
Well, here's actually what they should do. Every state of the union should have a Potato Day on a different weekend, which means that we can celebrate potatoes every single week of the year. Like, you go to Potato Day in Kentucky, then the next weekend it's in Virginia, then the next it's in Washington State, then Washington, D.C. So really, a week doesn't go by when you're not celebrating the lowly and wonderful Spudtacular Potato Day. Why is that blue?
No, it's tinfoil. It looks blue.
Oh, wow, yeah. But why is the tinfoil blue?
I don't know.
Daddy, why is the tinfoil blue? Ask your mother, son. Nearly 2,000, where was this? This is archived from, Greeley. This is they're not using my picture anymore. Scumbags.
I'll look and see.
I was the unofficial spokesperson, really unofficial, for Potato Day for a couple of years in Greeley, Colorado, because they caught a great picture of me.
Greeley Potato Day, David Lefkowitz, 2021.
Which is the year it was canceled because of COVID, or 20 was canceled because of COVID. But this is the class. Oh, this is a different one. This is one we both made the cover. Oh, do you mind? I mean, you're in there. Do you mind that your face is in there? I mean, you're wearing big, giant glasses, but yeah. That was me wearing an I Love Heinz ketchup shirt and bedecked with potatoes at Potato Day in Greeley many years ago. Yeah. I've got to be on some FBI watch lists for something.
I have the picture on my phone. I can't find it.
It's all right. I mean, I've posted it so many times. It's just part of Dave's Gone By lore, as are beloved potatoes. But anyway, just so you get ready, just so you know that it is coming, you have a full week. Like my mom has to 2 or 3 weeks in advance has to start planning for Passover and changing the silverware and changing the sink and doing the different food and they're kind of ridiculous at this stage. Nobody's dad's dead. I'm gone. It's like, but still, Potato Day should take weeks, but you have one more week. How do you want to celebrate? Do you want to dress up as a potato? Do you want to wrap yourself in tinfoil and slather yourself with warm butter, which I've done? What else would be a beautiful, beautiful way? Watch, forget about St. Patrick's Day. Watch a whole weekend of Irish movies. The Quiet Man and stuff by Martin McDonagh, who does some Irish stuff. I think. Do that, yeah. But celebrate the beautiful, the semi-humble potato. Anyway, you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce. Potatoes, of course. We'll have John Suzuki coming in a little less than half an hour, talking with Rabbi Sol Solomon about John's book, which is called American Grit. You do not want to miss that. It should be a really good conversation. Plus, Rabbi Sol will have a rabbinical reflection of Purim jokes. Plus, we'll have Bunyan Watch. Plus, we'll have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to Lazear, Colorado. It's a place, Lazear, 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 Colorado, for a ridiculous, offensive poem that I have written about it. Oh, and Dave's Big Dictionary, where the word will be pedantic. So, let's do you want to do Greeley Times?
So that I can see your thing, yeah.
Yeah, let's do Greeley Times. So, as I mentioned, we have, or had, when we were living in Colorado, this real, actual newspaper, the Greeley Tribune, which is, yes, yeah, sometimes I show the whole page, just because this is the greatest headline ever. All the ways a tree can kill. Artists rendering. Genius. Absolutely. But this is a real newspaper with real local news and some national news. But they do have a sense of humor there, and some of that is shown in their weekly column called Cop Log. And this is based on phone calls that come into the Greeley and Weld County Police Department from people who say, oh my God, please send a policeman. There's something weird going on. I've noticed this, or my neighbor's doing that. They're funny, and the funniest ones are then put into the Greeley Tribune once a week, and the funniest ones of those we share with you on Dave's Gone By in a segment that we, of course, call Greeley Times.
Oh, Marie and Tony.
Thank you, by the way, to Marie and to Tony for the thumbs up for the show this morning. Both of them friends of the Daverhood, so it's great that they're watching. Great to see you guys. So, yes, it is Greeley Times calls to the Greeley Police Department. We'll begin. I took my glasses off and I got to put them back on again. Here we go. Hey, what is it? What is it with Greeley, Colorado, and machetes? A caller at 9th Street.
Wait. Oh.
You also have the bum things, but yeah. Oh, I gotta get that. Let me get my potato phone. Oh. Okay, got it. Caller at 9th Street said a man was walking through the crosswalk and carrying a machete. The caller said it was about a foot long, and the man had it concealed mainly in his pocket. I wish I had something a foot long that I was concealing mainly in my pocket, but
that's
yeah.
Impossible.
Why is it impossible?
What pocket is foot long? He has a cargo pants?
Oh, well, the foot isn't that. The foot is like
but
this.
Your pockets aren't that deep.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, maybe he was wearing dungarees or something.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
But then again, most of these calls are.
Right, and he's carrying a machete, so maybe he was just on his way to the shopping center. Oh, I am sharp today. Oh, yeah. You know, I don't know how I sense these things.
Oh.
But another phone call. I told you. Another phone call coming in. A caller on 3rd Avenue said her dad's neighbor almost ran him over. Okay. Fine. Her dad's neighbor almost ran him over.
Yeah.
She said it was an ongoing issue.
Oh, God.
That's what I love. This idea of like, every time he comes out of his house.
It's like, like when we were in Florida, a cat had a kitten, kittens, a bunch of kittens.
Yeah.
And my grandfather every day would say, before we go in the car, we had a station wagon, he'd open the hood and all the kids would look under the car, around the car, in the car. And he'd say, we don't want to run them over. And I'd say, like, why? Like, why would they go in the car? He said, because it's warm.
Oh, yeah.
And they want the warmth. So maybe the neighbor, like, went in the...
Maybe he hides in the grill overnight.
Yeah, maybe he hides in his car because it's warm.
Oh, and now he's afraid of being run over. But I just love the idea of, like, my neighbor accidentally hit my... No, it happens like a couple times a week.
That's what happened. Remember with John Gotti, where somebody... I don't think they killed it. I hope they didn't kill him. But I think one of his kids got hit by a car from a neighbor. A neighbor did an accident.
Uh-oh.
And then, bye-bye neighbor.
Did that really happen?
They couldn't find the neighbor,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. I mean, not funny, but yeah. Wow. Let me see. We have. I'm sensing. I knew it. Another call. This one coming from a gas station. I can smell it. Oh no, it's my own gas. But this call comes from a gas station on 8th Street. A caller there reported finding what he believed to be a human bone.
Oh, God.
Between the side of the building.
Oh, my God.
And the gas pump.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be maybe an animal bone?
Well, officer notes in the dispatch log indicated it was, in fact, a cow bone. Oh. But the cow bone was connected to the shank bone. The shank bone was connected to the turkey bone. The turkey bone connected to the potato bone. Potato bone... No. Oh, I guess there's another phone call. Another call! All right, I got the potato phone. Hello. Some schmutz in the receiver.
Watch the butter and clean the butter. Clean the butter. There you go. Okay, good.
Oh, how do police process potatoes with butter that they've arrested?
How?
With a pat down.
Oh no.
Come on, that's pretty good, huh? All right. Anyway, caller on 8th Avenue said. A man.
Wait, 8th and 8th?
No, if it's 8th and 8th, I promise to tell. I always do an 8th and 8th, but this is 8th Avenue. Said the man was walking around the building with a stick and feathers, calling himself Dracula.
What that? Okay, that's wrong.
Which part?
Just wrong.
Which part?
So, if you have a stick and feathers, you're not Dracula, you're like a chicken.
Yes.
If you have...
Chicula.
If you're wearing a long cape and you're photosensitive, then you're Dracula.
You would figure, right?
Yes.
Although, there's no reason, honestly, that millions of people couldn't be named Dracula.
If you have feathers, you could be the
You could be what?
I think that, that's the problem.
Most likely, he was merely, I think, connected to Dracula because the guy was batshit. But,
Did they believe Dracula could become a bat? Is that part of Dracula?
Is that, that he would...
transform?
Although I still don't understand, I don't remember if that was from the movie or the Nosferatu things. Yeah, he did turn into a bat, which makes me wonder why he would lie down in his coffin and sleep if he could just go hang on a tree and mingle with other bats. And then, when he was lying down in the coffin, that left him open to being, getting a stake through the heart and being eternally killed.
That's something we should investigate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I should call the Greeley Police Department and ask about this.
Yeah.
There's a caller on 2nd Street. See, I'm so psychic. I'm predicting the calls now before they come in, before the phone even rings. The caller on 2nd Street said the former owner of his trailer, owners, plural, of his trailer, were underneath it. He said they stored things under it and always came to get them early in the morning and late at night. It's just like instead of renting a storage facility, they go back to their old thing.
That's clever. All these shows talk about tiny homes and maximizing space. If you're going to store stuff under it, that's brilliant.
How much room is there? I guess, if you've ever seen those buses when people go on things, they store,
well,
I don't know.
We don't know what kind of stuff. You could put clothes under there. You couldn't put a canoe, but you could put clothing.
You're right.
You could, I think that's clever, but I think they should have made some arrangement that they would have taken that when they left.
Yeah, they should have asked permission. That would have been nice,
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
What was the thing about asking permission in the... Oh, there was. I'll take a couple of minutes about this because there was a story in the papers. I call it. It's not even papers anymore. About. I mean, how do you feel about this? I mean, I know I'm on. See which side of this you're on.
Yeah.
So there's a bagelery in New York, a place that
Yeah.
bagels, and they don't sell everything.
Yeah.
So they would put all their old bagels out, or not day old, not
Yeah.
half day old bagels out at the end of the day in front, in the back or wherever they put them. And then this guy, this neighborhood do-gooder, would come in and sometimes get like 200 bagels.
Oh my God.
And not resell them. He would take them and distribute
them.
them.
You can donate them. So like every place, every school, every business, if you have unused food, I guess some things they can't pick up, but I would assume bagels, because they're meant to be eaten like that, you could donate them to like a shelter
or do something with them.
Yeah, like a food harvest or something. Yeah.
So this guy's noticing that they're not doing that.
That's weird. Yeah.
Well, and he collects them, puts them in, grabs them, and distributes and whatever, and gives them to the poor, right? But what happened was the bagel owners, because what would happen is there'd be bagel wrappers all over the place and a mess, and people would eat them, and then they started pouring chemicals and like putting smearing and garbage stuff on these perfectly good bagels so that they wouldn't be taken. That once they're garbage, they're garbage.
How did I hear of that?
And the guy who is, it's not a lawsuit or anything.
I heard of that.
But the guy is saying, why would they do that? I'm feeding the poor. It's not costing them anything. And I said, no, it has cost us already 2 summonses from the state of New York for garbage outside our thing.
What I would suggest is that they come together and they find, like, because I know I worked at one place and I said, what do you do with all the food? It was our school cafeteria at the prior institution.
Yeah.
I said, we have so much food left over. What do you do with it? Like, do people take it home or what? And they said no. Like, what they do is they donate it, but they explain like a process of it. And
because lawyers have spoiled everything in this country because everyone's afraid of getting sued.
Not sued, but you don't want people to get sick. Like, if it's like, and then I know that a lot of the kids, when we have parties and stuff, I think at different places, the servers take it. Like, so.
Oh, sure.
Small, yeah. So I would say, like, honestly, they should just get, like, if it's New York, it's like God's love we deliver for HIV. Mm-hmm. There's like probably senior centers and take it, older adult centers, like.
But that involves, it doesn't involve a lot of coordination. And then if one person has a gluten allergy.
No, but that's not
and
true.
eats a bagel.
I think I think they make it so that when the company picks it up and distributes it, they're okay. I think it just.
Oh, that'd be all right.
I think it.
So, I mean, it would be nice if the bagelry made that kind of a deal.
Yeah.
But they didn't. And I don't, but this guy's like, I'm saying, they said, look, we'll sell you our old bagels for $1 a piece instead of $2 a piece. And I said, no. Then go away. And don't be grabbing our garbage, redistributing it, having people leave schmutz all over the place.
When you put something out on the curb, it's public. That's what I remember.
It is public, yeah. But also, it's an invitation to mice and rats. So if you put chemicals like rat poison down, keeping away vermin.
They used to do that in the dorm. Like, people would say, I'm going to put stuff in my food so people don't take it. And I just, because I used to eat chicken and I would get frozen chicken.
Yeah.
And somebody took it and put parts of it. And, I put a note and said, if you need this food so badly, you can ask me and I'll give it to you. Don't take it.
There you go.
And then people would say, oh, do you have anything? Like, and that's fine because, I understand hunger. Like, but I think that, there's a way it could be worked out that you don't have to put poison in food.
I think both sides are a little wrong on this. But the store made the bagels. Yeah. The store did it, and it is their right to distribute. If it turns into garbage,
why not
that's
sell
it.
Like day old? The one bakery down here, I went when they first opened.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I want to try different things for you, or I like different.
Yeah.
And the man said, well, look over there. It's like day old stuff. And you get 2 for the price of 1. He gave me 4.
Yeah.
And he just loaded me up with a bag of and it was like one day, and you know what? You could buy something from the grocery store, it could sit in your house for 3 days.
Of course.
It's not like, and even if you go to the grocery store, it's not like when I buy mushrooms, from the bin, that they're going to empty out all the old ones every day.
Exactly.
I feel like
And it was the one time I was able to try a caramel squid bagel.
no,
It was so
you
good.
love their stuff. It was
Yeah,
good.
I know.
And the man was so nice. He's like, take another one. I'm like, no, I don't want that much stuff. He's like, no, they're day old. Will your spouse eat them? I said he would love this for breakfast.
My spouse
He
is a
said,
vacuum cleaner.
No, he said, take it. He said, and I said, I don't really, you know what? He said, please take it. And they were delicious.
Right. So yeah. So, I mean, again, it would be nice if the store did what A, B, and C, but they are not obligated to.
Yeah,
and I think the guy's kind of a
I'm
douche.
sure they know, like, any store is going to know their legal rights. I mean, they're going to, I'm just checking to make sure.
Yeah, no, the guest has just logged on, so we're good for 10 o'clock with our guest.
No, but okay.
But I do want to do it elsewhere, because we do this also in Greeley Times, where we have an item, a criminality, an odd news kind of item, that doesn't come from Greeley or Northern Colorado at all. We always save one odd news piece for Greeley Times. And this one, we go elsewhere to St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri, where this story comes from. You know that here on Dave's Gone By, we love really stupid world records, right? Well, it's not even a phone call. No, well, you can ring the bell for victory, for the fact that we have a latest world record here. The City Museum in St. Louis successfully broke a Guinness World Record, this is about a week or two ago, by gathering 355 people. What do you think they did, babe?
They made a polka party. Polka party?
This is about on that level.
Oh, wow.
300. I think there have been bigger polka parties, actually, than that.
Oh, that's pretty substantial.
But in beautiful Missouri,
yeah.
I assume it's beautiful, I've never been there, they got 355 people at the same time to wear underpants on their head.
Oh, nice. Oh, wait. I can help you with that.
Can you? Oh, can you?
Hold on.
I don't think I have a pair. Do I? I don't know if I have an adult diaper here. Well, this is not going to be that close, but it's cool enough. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this event is to commemorate 3.1 or 314 Day. It is a local holiday celebrated. It is 3.
Why would you put underpants on your head for Pi Day?
Well, here's the deal. On March 14th, aka 3-14, because St. Louis area code is 314.
But what does that have to do with underwear on your head?
Yeah, I don't know what.
I understand the area code. I understand what Pi Day is, but
it's not. It's more about St. Louis being goofy and fun because they do a lot of. Yeah. Well, this is the deal. They
so
like
fun.
to put themselves on the map.
So fun.
I can't do this.
Here, give it to me.
Give
it to me. 400. You're not having a good
stuck
day.
there.
You got some. What happened here?
So, the museum. Remember, this is a museum in St. Louis, Missouri. They provide the underpants for this attempt.
It's even more disgusting.
It's like people don't bring it. Well, no, it's
probably
less.
Better.
Yeah, the brand new. Yeah. So they, your museum, your tax dollars for the museum.
I'm sure it's like Hanes or an underpants charity.
Bought all these underpants, gave them to people, and a Guinness adjudicator announced that at 2:30 p.m. the new world record was set in beloved Naperville. Oh, the old record was from Naperville, Illinois, where I'd been in 2012. That was only 270 underpants wearing people. So this was a major step up. This is a great thing. Which, it makes me wonder, though. It's got to be a fairly easy record to break. If we were to go to, like, New York and find 500 people, would you put underpants on your head all together? You'd get the world record. I mean, right then and there.
I don't understand. Like, it just seems to me like something not worth the effort, personally.
I mean, they have larger records of people, like, posing naked in downtown.
It'd be cuter if they said, like, come with a wacky hat or dress in wacky colors or something like that. Would be more fun.
Then, well, underpants are fun. But here's the deal. The City Museum over there, so the museum likes to do these sorts of things. Their other world records include the world's largest pencil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm amazed.
The world's longest seesaw,
Oh,
which presumably is both sides, I
that's
guess.
horrible.
No, and the biggest tennis racket. Now, it also has an unofficial record, unofficial, for somebody at the museum there is, because they have an unofficial record for the world's largest pair of underpants.
Oh, so they have. Maybe Captain Underpants is from there. Is he from there?
Oh, wouldn't that be the best thing
Is
ever?
he from there?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
But the great thing is, this pair of underpants is on display in the museum.
Give me the museum name, honey.
It's the City Museum of St. Louis.
Okay, hold on, I'm going to look it up.
Underpants.
Largest pair of underpants at City Museum of St. Louis.
Yeah. Presumably displayed next to a Vermeer and an O'Keefe.
Oh, Jesus.
Little joke. Oh, do you see them? Is there a picture?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, we're going to share now.
Honey.
The largest pair of, this is not official.
Hold it on the sides. No.
Yeah. Just official.
You see the video?
It's still, do not sell or share my information. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Oh. No.
Give it to me.
It got showed for like a moment. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this, as much as Joyce and I want to visit Pittsburgh for being near Heinz and where they make ketchup, now we have to go to St. Louis, Missouri to see in person the largest pair of underpants.
See how I'm holding it?
Yeah, or under there.
Here, look. They're fancy.
They don't look that. I mean,
we have no
size.
proportion. We have no. Just go here. Let me see.
Like if somebody were wearing them.
No, I don't think they can. I think. No, it's not that big. Look at the person standing near it.
Yeah, they look like wearable underpants, like size 60 or
he's
something.
Holding his nose, making a stinky face.
Okay, well actually they are pretty big.
Yeah.
They're okay. I mean, they're about 5 times the size of this child.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't wear them. Yeah.
All right. Well, it is. Oh my God! It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern time here in the Daverhood, and so we've been doing Greeley Times. This is, as we said. Well, let's get out of the segment because we have to get to our next segment. Our special guest.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Our guest is not Horace Greeley.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is 10 o'clock just about in the Daverhood, and it's time to bring in an author, an entrepreneur, and someone we're going to have a lot of fun talking with. His name is John Suzuki, and he's written a historical book about life during World War II from an American-Japanese perspective. Now, this is not about him, not about his family, but a story that he feels is very worth telling in the book, American Grit. And we're going to get our grittiest character here into the Daverhood to interview John Suzuki. He's the one, the only, the Jewish. Well, I pour this in there. Is there water in there? Or his name is Rabbi Sol Solomon of blessed memory, and he's going to be with us. Well, the next voice you hear is going to be unbelievably Jewish. Hey, play this. There we go. Shalom, my friends, and shalom, my enemies, and shalom, everybody in between. This is your old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And how thrilled and delighted I am to have this smiling person. Hold on, I gotta get all the phlegm out. Hold on. Much better. This smiling person John Suzuki into the Daverhood. Now, he's an entrepreneur. He's also been a guy in tech for many, many years, but he's using his third life, his quote-unquote retirement years, to spread the word of good things, to be a sort of motivational, to have better things going on, and to tell what he feels is an important story and not told enough story of World War II, particularly of Japanese Americans who were interned unfairly in this country, treated like, scary foreigners, if you will. And, how would you feel if your country did that to you? And yet some of these people said, you know what, it's a terrible war. The Axis is even worse than what we're being treated like here. Let me go fight for the Allies. So he's written a book about someone and several people who did exactly that. The book is called, get ready to hold that thing up, American Grit. Show that thing. There it is. American Grit, written by John Suzuki. Shalom and welcome to the Daverhood, John.
Shalom, Rabbi. How are you?
I got the phlegm. I got a shoulder issue.
We all have problems. We all have problems.
How's your prostate?
My prostate is growing. It's a wonderful thing.
Growing with what?
Yeah, that's one of those things that's one of those growth things that you really don't want, but that's okay.
Can you sleep through the night, or do you have to piss a couple of times? Every 2
hours. TMI, Rabbi, TMI.
Bucket. Anywho, so here's the thing. Welcome, of course, to.
Thank you.
So you call yourself, before we get to the book, what is a technological evangelist?
Yeah. Okay. So I was in high. Yeah, so I was in high tech for about 40 years. Worked for companies like IBM and Sun Microsystems, was in travel with Expedia. And my job, most of my career was in sales, but the last 5 or 6 years, I was Expedia's global evangelist and ombudsman. And what an evangelist is someone who goes out there and talks to their partners and their customers about technology, what's going on, what's happening, why they should care, what the trends are, and of course in technology the trends are amazing. So that was the evangelist part of me, and the ombudsman part of me was to get out there and have big ears and to listen to my customers, listen to our partners, get the information in terms of how we could help them, and take it back to the leadership of the company, and they did something about it. So it was a lot of fun. I traveled all over the world, and it was great.
So I'm curious about an actual example, because we all know all these different travel websites. What was your way of making Expedia stand out from, Travelocity, from Hotels.com, from this, from that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the big things that I did was in the vacation rental industry. Now, everybody now knows what vacation rentals are, but for a long, long time, nobody knew what a vacation rental was, because now you have Airbnb, now you have Vrbo, you have all those different kinds of things. And so, bringing vacation rentals into the mainstream of travel, into e-commerce, was something that is, imagine the guys, the Yellow Pages guys one day saying, hey, listen, well, let's stop the Yellow Pages and let's become a full e-commerce marketplace. It's an entirely different business model. And of course, bringing our business partners along was in some ways a really, really painful process that required a lot of selling, a lot of convincing, a lot of educating. And so my role was to get out there and to inspire them, yay, the evangelist part of it, get them excited, help them understand why we were doing what we were doing. It was very, very challenging, but amazingly rewarding. And the really great news was that Expedia let me do my job. And they actually listened to what I wanted to, what I felt we needed to do, and it was great.
I have to say that Expedia inspired me to do the website usemysukkah.com. So on Sukkot, the Jewish holiday, I put that up there, and I have people vying to pay to stay in the sukkah for a couple of hours.
Sure.
Night sort of thing. I must have made like $30-40. It was wonderful.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? Better to make $30-40 than to owe $30-40, right?
Well, yeah, I do owe.
Yeah, and Expedia's product is Vrbo. and I spent a lot of time with Verbo. So yeah, it's very, very good.
So, all right, so how did you were not so much a tech guy as someone who explains tech to people who, so you weren't like an engineer or making all those things. You were
No, no.
selling.
My job was to understand how tech applied to our business partners and our customers. And we built technology that our business partners used. And so it was educating them on what all that meant and why they should care and why they should spend the time to implement the stuff we were building.
So
So,
how did your background lead you to that? What did you study in college? Where did you come from? Your early years, if you will.
yeah, in my early years, so I graduated from high school in 1979. So I've been around for a long time. And my first computer class was using punch cards.
Wow.
Yeah, the reason why I got into technology was because of the K key. And what I mean by that was that we got a brand new computer in the college that I was in, and it had these things called monitors, and right?
Yeah, of
And
course.
the amazing thing was that it had a keyboard. And when I punched the K key, the K showed up on the screen. And I was just amazed. And I said, that's the future of the world right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
I mean,
my
fax
problem is
machines weren't even out.
I
Huh?
have a big problem with punch cards because a lot of times I will hand people my card and then they'll punch me. So
Yes. Yeah. Not quite those kinds of punch cards, but yeah. So and my first job was with IBM, and I've been in high tech ever since. And so yeah, my high tech sales. And so I learned all about communications. I learned about understanding customer needs and how we could help people, and that naturally kind of flowed into the role of evangelist and ombudsman. Um, and uh,
but
and
once you
we
are
lived happily ever
retired,
after.
now you're retired, you're comfortably
I am.
living, you have a family, wife and kids and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, grandkids too. Yeah.
Met Mazel Miklik. This is so it's a wonderful. So you chose in your post-work tech
Yes.
ombudsman years
Yes.
to write a book.
Yeah. Here's the thing is that I believe that we all have three careers, Rabbi. I think our first career is to learn and go to school. The second is to earn a living for ourselves and our family. And the third is to return and give back. And so my whole thing was my whole life now is returning. And I think we all have a common purpose, share a common purpose to make the world better than the day we landed on it.
See, the problem is
And
I have not to interrupt, but I totally anticipate three careers in my life. The three: prostitute, rabbi, back to prostitute.
yeah,
Okay.
what comes around goes around.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, as well. Yeah, around, up, and under, and you don't want to know. But so you've done. So now you're in the giving back phase.
I
So
am.
are you a philanthropist? Are you a motivational speaker? What do you do?
Yeah, so I wrote this book
Yeah.
as part of you know I call it a passion and it was something that I'm supposed to do. It was a series of miracles, and I'll call it divine intervention that got me to writing that book. And from that book, I just and the book is all about tragedy. It's a love story, really, and it's about the Japanese Americans during World War II who were thrown into concentration camps right here in the United States.
Could you maybe not? I know the word is the correct term, but
Yes,
as a Jew and as someone
yes,
who knows World War II, that is a loaded term. We like to
I
use
understand.
internment camps, what they were, and I know there's a difference between a concentration camp and a death camp. But if you're talking about concentration camps, I want you talking about Auschwitz or Belsen
Okay,
or
okay,
so. For
that's
these two
totally
terms,
fair.
yeah.
That is totally fair. And because I'm a man who calls it like I see it. And I don't call the concentration camps of Europe concentration camps. I call them more death camps. I call them, I mean, they by definition, my definitions are correct. And but I understand,
I mean, I would call
the
Auschwitz
vernac-
a Jew destroying camp, but that's Harvard. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, exactly. But right. I mean, that's more accurate than to me than the term concentration camp. I mean, we're using these euphemisms, and so I won't use that term anymore. So we had these camps in the United States. We'll call them internment camps because that's the popular vernacular or the euphemism for that. And they were thrown 120,000 people of Japanese ancestry, including 50,000 babies and children, were rounded up, were evicted from their homes on the West Coast. They were evacuated and they were thrown into these camps in the middle of nowhere where people do not belong. And they were thrown into those camps simply because they looked like the enemy. They looked like the enemy. And so my book is about that, but what it's more about is not only the tragedy, not only the horror, not only of civil rights being taken away, but it's about men who volunteered out of those internment camps to fight and die for the United States Army, who put them and their families in those camps to begin with. And they went off to fight for America while their families stayed in those camps, and they went on to become some of the most decorated war heroes in the history of the United States.
Now they didn't put them in the eastern. They had them fighting Germans. I imagine they would not have put them in the Japanese area.
Right. So that's really interesting, Rabbi, because they did send most of them to the European theater to fight against the Germans, but they sent 6,000 of them to fight Japan. These are Japanese Americans fighting Japan, and they served in what was called the Military Intelligence Service. And this was a top secret group of people that was classified until 30 years after the war. And they served as interpreters. They served as interrogators, negotiators, and these guys were embedded with the American Army. They were part of the American Army, and the amazing thing was that at that time, Japan viewed everybody. The emperor viewed anybody who was of Japanese heritage to be a citizen of Japan. So as these guys were fighting Japan, if they were captured, they were killed as traitors, and so. Right.
So it's not so crazy though that the United States viewed people of Japanese descent as potential traitors because Japan's own country saw these people as Japanese and as part of Japan. So it's a little ironic there.
It is, but the concern that Japan viewed these people as their citizens had nothing to do with the decisions to throw these people into these internment camps. And so some of them did fight in the Pacific Theater. And what was really interesting about that is that when the war was over, they were right there to help rebuild Japan, and to help with the communications. And they were there when Russia wanted to do to Japan what they did to Germany. And so they were there to rebuild the alliance and what became a military and political alliance between the United States. Amazing stories, just amazing stories.
My thing is that this became a calling for you to write this book, but why? This is not about your family. This is not about people you know, or you have to do a lot of research and investigative work. So how did this story become your story? I can understand if this is about your dad or grandpa or something, but why you and why this?
Yeah, so I'm of Japanese ancestry. My dad served in Japan. My dad served as one of those guys.
Right, on our side.
Yeah. And so I am, yes, our side. Let me be clear, our side.
I include you in our side,
Absolutely. And what's really interesting about that, just side note, is that sometimes when I go to Japan, we'll have conversations and I'll talk with folks in Japan, Japanese folks, and they'll say, if the United States and Japan were to go to war, whose side would you be on? I said, you know what? You and I would be fighting each other. There's just no question. And, they respect that. They totally respect that. And so my family has a little bit of background. But one of the things, so I know about, I'm a history buff a little bit on World War II. But one day, what happened was I was just minding my own business and I came across this flyer. And this flyer said, pilgrimage to Minidoka. I didn't know what a pilgrimage was. I didn't know what a Minidoka was, so I just ignored it. And for the next 8 weeks, I saw this crazy flyer all over the place. And I thought, this is weird. And I'm like, okay. So the day before this pilgrimage was supposed to happen and these people were going to get on a 12-hour bus ride, I find this flyer on my windshield. And I said, okay, listen, I'll call. And so I called him up and I said, hey, listen, I know it's tomorrow, but do you have a seat on the bus? And they said, this must be your lucky day. We just had one cancellation and it's yours. And so the next day, and this is a time when I'm working 60 hours a week and I'm traveling 3 weeks every month. I don't have time to spend 3 days on a bus going to someplace I don't know. Well, it turns out that this place was called Minidoka, and it was a former internment camp in Idaho. And so I didn't know why I was going because my family was not interned there. They were, and so had no idea. Everybody asked me, why are you going there? And I said, you know what? I don't know why I'm going, but I have a feeling I will know on the bus ride home. And so the first day, it was amazing, went through, and at this time, this was 17 years ago, and there were people on the bus who were actually there during World War II, and it was unbelievable. And they shared their stories and just tears and anger and all the emotions you can imagine. On the third day, I woke up on the third day going, still haven't figured it out. They had a remembrance ceremony that morning, and we stood in front of a billboard. And this billboard was called an honor roll. And it listed the names of over 1,000 men who volunteered out of that camp to fight and die for the United States Army during World War II. And they went on to become part of a segregated Japanese-American war unit called the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. And they went on to become the most decorated war unit in the history of the United States for its size and duration. And I looked at that. I knew about the 442nd. I knew about the camps. I did not know about the men who volunteered out of those camps to fight and die for the United States Army. And I just went, oh my, and that was the moment. That was the moment. And so I decided at that time that that the world needed to know about this. This was a story the world needed to know about. And I set off to write a screenplay. And someday I hope it will be picked up as a movie, but I'm not there yet. I wrote this book. But just an amazing, amazing story. And so the fact of the matter is fewer and fewer people even know that these camps existed that this part of our history happened. And so part of my passion is to educate folks that this stuff happened so it never happens again in this country. And the problem is that it will.
Well, in a way, it almost did after 9/11.
Exactly.
Everybody assumed if you had an Arab name, if you worshipped at a mosque, etc., and so forth, it wasn't fair, but again, it was kind of understandable. Racial profiling in an airport, we get because ... So
that's right, and there was this misdirected energy out there that said, hey, if they're Muslim, they must be terrorists. We need to round them up.
Well, that's interesting. That's kind of true. But okay, no, I'm kidding.
Okay, so there you go. And so, but there's an interesting story to that. Is that George Bush, who was president at the time, the 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
Huh? George W. Bush. Yeah, Bush Jr. Right. Yeah, he was president at the time. And when he brought his advisors together, there was a guy named Norman Mineta, who was his transportation secretary. Norman Mineta spent his childhood in one of these camps. And when Bush Jr. said, listen, what are we going to do? He also said, whatever you come up with, do not come up with these internment camps, because we are not going to do to anybody what we did to that guy right there. And, so that was part of the conversation even back then.
To remind remind me, and maybe I missed this, but again, we said that your family wasn't, but like your parents and grandparents, where were they in World War II? I know.
So my mom was actually in Japan. She was in Japan, and so
Visiting,
she
or
was
she
on
was
the other
living?
side. Huh?
Visiting or living? She was.
No, living,
She was still she
living.
was Japanese. She was
Yeah,
the
she's
enemy. So what? Yeah,
yeah,
but at
yeah,
least she
and
wasn't in the army because she's a woman. So
yeah. No, she was on the receiving end of our fire bombs and our bullets, and which is an entirely different entirely
oh,
different experience.
yeah.
Yeah, and she just a couple of quick stories. She remembers the face of the fighter pilots who strafed her. They were
Wait. How
so
could she see them?
because they were that close.
Not
I
good.
mean,
Bad aim.
these planes were coming towards her. These planes were coming down with machine guns, killing everybody. I mean, war's hell. I don't blame the United States. I'm not gonna go there. But she remembers seeing this plane, this fighter plane coming towards her, strafing, bullets coming out of its wings, and got so close to her that she saw the pilot's face. And stuff like that. Obviously, she didn't die. But just one other quick story. They
Please.
didn't have food. They didn't have food. Nobody had food. Obviously, I mean, it was war. It was the whole place was being destroyed. And she found a peanut. She found a peanut, and she decided, I'm going to plant this peanut. I'm going to love this peanut. I'm going to take care of this peanut, so this peanut makes more peanuts for my five brothers and sisters. And she was the oldest one, oldest sibling. And so she took care of this peanut. She stuck it in the ground. She took care of it, made it wonderful. Weeks went by. The damn thing didn't grow any peanuts. And she got so frustrated that she grabbed the peanut, she ripped it out of the ground, and there were peanuts.
Oh, because they grow that way.
They grow in the ground. And she
Not only
said,
were there peanuts, there were Archie comics as well. So it was
yeah, that's right. But she said that to her dying day, it was the best meal she ever had. It was the best meal she ever had in her life. Yeah. So war's hell. But my mom was there, and my dad met my mom when he was in the army helping with the reconstruction. And they got married in Japan and came back to the United States. Yeah.
This is that. So in some ways, there's a happy ending to the 40 million people.
Well, if people think I'm a happy ending, I appreciate that. So.
Well, I love that you have on your website your wife of almost 40 years, your wife, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. I know you have children, grandchildren. She has compared you and your energy. And I mean, look at you're what, in your 60s at this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
She has, you have this on your site, so I can say this. She compares you to, quote, a dog chasing squirrels.
Yeah,
Squirrel.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
how long did it take you to gather the information and to write the book?
Yeah, it took me 15 years. 15 years. Yeah. And the amazing thing was I traveled the world. I went to the battlefields in Italy and in France. And I interviewed men from the 442nd, Japanese American men, Medal of Honor recipients, just incredible people. And going to the battlefields was one of the most humbling moments of my life. It just, those guys are there. There was a moment in one of the battlefields where I jumped into a former German foxhole, and I'm looking around, and their presence was so strong. I couldn't stand up. My legs just buckled. I broke down in tears. The feelings are coming back right now. And the guys were there. The guys were helping me on my journey. And it was the honor of my life. The honor of my life.
And I'm actually, in a way, I'm kind of glad you're saying you started at 15 years, because so many of those people were alive at least.
Exactly.
Now their stories, you have to tell their stories because they're not there.
Exactly. And I just interviewed back just before Christmas a man who's 101 years old, and he actually fought with the character that I write about. And he fought in
So you mean
the,
side by side with
yeah,
he and this
yeah,
character both on the
yeah,
same side fighting the
yeah, which is amazing, and of course, in honor of itself to be able to meet somebody like that.
Now, we do want to tell people how they can read your book and get your book, which is called American. Hold the thing up again. American Grit, which is available how?
It's on Amazon. That's the easiest way. But it's called American Grit, and if you just write American Grit Suzuki, you'll go right to it. Yeah, and so far I've gotten all my reviews have been 5 stars except one 4-star review. Who are you? Who's that guy?
It's something. There's going to be a plane strafing this guy's house.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
just let me at him.
Cough up another star, you asshole. But get it where all the books. And by the way, I also want to push, if you will, your website, johnsuzuki.com, so you can find out more about him and his pictures and his nice.
Thank you.
Suzuki, Suzuki, Suzuki.
Yep.
You're not related to the piano guy, right?
No, I'm not. So Suzuki is the Smith of Japanese names. There's more of us in Japan running around. Right? It's just and my first name is John. My middle name is James. So it's basically John James Smith. So I tell people I've got the world's greatest cheap sale name. And my dad wanted me to bleed red, white, and blue, being from the Army and all the sensitivities towards Japanese back then. And so, yeah, John James Smith.
There you are, John James. Let me ask you, though, you've written the book, and now, of course, you're in this thing for several months now, promoting, just wanting to get the story out there, people reading it, people knowing what happened at the story of this character. So, what is your 4th act?
So the interesting thing about my book, I started off with my book wanting to inform the world, educate the world. Just 2 things: educate the world and make sure this stuff doesn't happen again, right? And as I was going through this journey, I realized that the greatest message that came out of the book was not about the camps. It was about these guys who refused to blame anybody for their circumstances. They refused to be victims. And they refused to succumb to paralyzing themselves and feeling sorry for themselves. And they empowered themselves to figure out how the heck in those days prove their loyalty and get the heck out of those camps and get their families out of those camps. And they decided to fight discrimination. They decided to fight for the United States, fight against America's enemies. And they came out and they won. And so that led me to my 4th act of starting a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I started a podcast called Finding Better. And this podcast is all about helping people find better in their lives. And it's about sharing experiences, sharing wisdom. It's not about opinions. I had a friend tell me, John, I could care less about your opinion, but I'll listen to your experiences all day long. And that was what guided me to with regards to this podcast. And we talk, it's real life experiences, people who have been there and done that, so that folks listening can take those lessons and take some of that wisdom and decide to apply some of that to their own lives. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful because so many people want to give. So many people want to share their stories so that people learn from them.
I want to take. So if you could connect me with these people who are giving, I will be a very glad taker. So, but if people want to take your podcast, is it at johnsuzuki.com or you have to go to another place? Or?
Yeah, it's called Finding Better. They can go to findingbetter.com.
Findingbetter.com for the podcast, which you host, you create.
Yes, I do.
It's true stories of people who turn their lives around and who did great things.
And I just did my last episode was the first of its kind that I did, and it's called Finding Better with God. I did another one called Finding Better with Art.
God? I've
Yeah,
been
no, I
this is
interviewed.
the first
I
show.
interviewed. Yeah,
I've been trying
yeah.
to get him on in the Daverhood.
I'll
And
get you connected. I'll get you connected.
would you please keep sending angels? They hang up on me. I don't like it. But
Yeah, but you know, finding better with gratitude, finding better with artificial intelligence, finding the greatest love of all, finding better money. I talk about everything. I talk about finding better road rage, and you know, and I bring guests on, and we talk about our own life's experiences that maybe folks can learn from, and not make the same mistakes, or be able to shortcut a little bit of their lives by emulating people who've been there and done that.
now, one of the things we're going to close with John Suzuki here on Dave's Come By. So I'm going to first plug, before we have our last question for you, going to plug one more time American Grit, which you can buy on Amazon and all these places, plus find out more at johnsuzuki.com, and check out his podcast at findingbetter.com, where you can listen to that. But one of the other ways that you've been spending it is that you have nice little hobbies. So you enjoy fishing and paragliding.
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
is that the thing where you Paris? No, what the hell is you're not afraid to do this?
Yeah. It's paragliding where you're actually a pilot. You're piloting an aircraft, and the aircraft is a wing. And you jump off cliffs and you go flying. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, sounds wonderful. Are you strafing people on the way down?
Oh yeah. That's the strafing part. Yeah, exactly.
Why
It's
would
a
you
great.
try, as a father and as a husband and as a grandfather, why would you do something that is potentially risky like that?
Because I love it. It's wonderful. There's no such there is no other feeling than flying, and you're flying with the birds. Yeah, full disclosure, I'm a retired paragliding pilot. My last trip was to Ecuador, and I landed in three trees. I landed in the Pacific Ocean. I hit a building, and I almost ran into a semi truck. And so all on one trip.
Oh, this
You're not supposed to run into anything. I ran into a whole bunch of things. And it was when I
I
came home
thought
from
you were
that trip.
Japanese. It turns out you're at least partially Polish. Because at a certain point, I was like, I almost hit a semi truck. Let me go back out there tomorrow and do better. I'm going to find better with
That's exactly right.
I'm going to go halfway into the ocean and have
Yeah.
to rescue. This is
Kept trying for better, and it turned out in the final analysis, my better was just to hang up my glider and be done with it.
Well, I couldn't have imagined a better conversation with a guest than we have had with John Suzuki here in the Daverhood. Get his book, American Grit. Listen to his podcast, Finding Better, and wish him much, much good luck in getting the story out there and having a fourth and a fifth and an 18th life. You should live to see great grandchildren too, because you're absolutely wonderful. Happy Purim to you. Happy almost Easter, whatever it is that you celebrate. And
You
thank you
too.
for being with us. Shalom to you.
Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi.
You betcha. Oh, John Suzuki, ladies and gentlemen, what a delight, what a thrill, what a joy to have him in the Dib. Wasn't that wonderful? Get his book. Of course you have to. Now, understand, I mean, they fought the good fight, the right fight, and he is doing the right fight with his book, American Grit. Well, I will be back later in this program with a rabbinical reflection for the Purim holiday. It's going to be jokes, comical, hilarious Purim-y jokes for all of you in my rabbinical reflection. So until then, which is maybe 45 minutes, an hour away, who the hell knows on this show, I do wish you a most happy and joyful Purim holiday in these not so joyful times, and going to bring Dave back into the Daverhood on this fine Shabbos morning. And shalom to you all while I vamp and wait for the stupid klezmer song. Here it is. The wonderful Rabbi Sol Solomon there with the delightful John Suzuki in the Daverhood live on this Saturday morning. It is March 23rd, 2024, and I'm going to sneeze now. Great. I've been hocking up phlegm and sneezing. It's a wonderful morning here in the Daverhood on March 23rd, 2024, our 936th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my wonderful wife, Joyce. Let me tell you about how, John was telling us where you could listen to his podcast, Finding Better. Let's say you're still a little at sea over what the hell this program is. We've been doing it since 2001, right? 2002. After all these years, I get a little muddle-headed. Since late 2002, we've been doing this program almost every week, year after year after year. And if you're just stumbling on it today, you might wonder, well, what the hell? What is he talking about? He's bantering about this, he's manatees that, he's going back and forth. And it's like, I know. The show is kind of insane if you haven't been following it or keeping up. But you can keep up. You can follow the show because our archives are readily available in various places on the internet. The first place to start, besides this Facebook page, where all our recent shows over the past couple of years have been archived automatically on Facebook, which is great, but our full and complete archives are available at davesgoneby.com. Dave's Gone By, there's no apostrophe, just davesgoneby.com. And literally from our first episode all the way through last week's, they're virtually all there. If they were saved, if we didn't lose them to the ozone, to some glitch in the recording, they're all there. So you can enjoy a show that we did in 2004. You can enjoy a show we did in 2014. You can also hate a show that we do in 2001. Either way, you can still listen to it, or post 2018, their video, you can watch them too. It's all at davesgoneby.com, and there's even a separate archive on the same site where if you don't want to listen to the whole show, but you're interested in a guest that we've had on the program, we have a separate archive of all the interviews. So check it out, davesgoneby.com. Also, you might want to check out archive.org, archive.org. This is where it's basically the same stuff. Same interviews and same full episodes of the show. It's just on a different site. So if our site ever goes down, we'll just send you to archive.org, which is this not-for-profit website that gathers art and culture and entertainment and literature from hundreds of years. And we're very, very lucky to have our own little page on there where you can literally click on everything we've done. It's the Dave's Gone By channel on archive.org. Now, if you just want to hear the audio, because we've been a radio show for the first 17, 18 years of the program, if you just want to hear the audio, castbox.fm
Do you want
is,
a cool pack?
I don't know if I'll be able to keep it on. I can try.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Thank you very much. If you just want the audio of our shows, and you want it as a podcast, so you're mobile or you're on a train, sorry? Potato just said potato chip. I think he's still dwelling on the idea of Tater Day that's coming up next weekend. But if you just want the audio, go to castbox.fm. Castbox.fm. Again, now that we're doing video shows, the better way to find these things is on davesgoneby.com. But hey, it's a really simple way to download the thing as a podcast. Castbox.fm, and all our episodes are there, but just as audio. We do have a YouTube channel, but every other week I get email from YouTube saying that some show we did 17 years ago is now no longer available. It's muted. It's blocked in these countries because I play a Bob Dylan song or something. Because we were on terrestrial radio for a while, then college radio, and we've stopped playing music almost altogether because Facebook and YouTube have these draconian rules now about that somehow we cross the line in terms of ASCAP and BMI and rights, whereas other people have no problem posting entire songs and entire albums. And yet, if I play more than 20 seconds of anything, it's like, oh, we're going to mute you, you're going to block you, nobody can listen to your show. So thank you, YouTube. But we still have our YouTube channel, and we still put up all our shows and our interviews on youtube.com. Just look for Dave's Gone By. Anyway, it is about 20 to 11 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching an episode that we're calling The Suzuki Method, because, of course, we just had John Suzuki in the Daverhood, and we do have more to do on the show. We have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we're going to Lazear, Colorado, for a terrible poem I've written about it. And then also we have Dave's Big Dictionary, where I will be talking extemporaneously off the top of my head about a word that Joyce picked out from Webster's Dictionary's Word of the Day. And that word is pedantic, which I do have a tendency to be. So we're going to talk about that, pedantic, and then what else? Oh, Bunyan Watch. We have Bunyan Watch, ladies and gentlemen. This is really exciting, where we're going to check on the condition of Dave's feet, Dave's bunions. So before we do that, let me also say something that I forgot to do last week. So I do want to give a couple of farewells to people in the Daverhood. First of all, about a week and a half ago now, Karl Wallinger passed away. He was a singer-songwriter. He was the founder, creator of a band that was really him. It was called World Party, if you remember them from like the 80s and 90s. And the weird, goofy part was that last week, in the middle of last week, I was thinking about the song The Whole of the Moon, which is probably the best-known World Party song. And I remember Vince Scelza used to play that a lot on his show when he was on K-Rock and other stations, because it's really catchy, really vibrant, heavily orchestrated, rock, pop, Irish song in kind of a U2 Waterboys tradition. And it really, it's a wonderful song. It got overplayed a bit when it came out. And it's kind of a longish song, but it's good, And I don't know, I was thinking about the song and how catchy it was and how it was always played on the radio, the stations that I listened. It wasn't on like Top 40 or something like that, but it was on the cooler stations that would play it. And I was thinking about this. Apropos of nothing, apropos of the 100,000 songs that I know or tangentially know or might think about or might want to listen to. And then 2 days later, the news came that Karl Wallinger passed away. He had had some health issues. I think he had a heart thing for a few years. And then, oh, thank you very much. Speaking of having issues, put this over me. I'll explain. Oh, so good. Oh,
Do you want
so
me to get
good.
you?
No, I got everything. I
I
got
can get
tea.
you something to cover it so you don't see it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
well, the rabbi has a top. What are you gonna put over me? A robe? I don't know. They feel nice though. So farewell to Karl Wallinger, and this I feel really bad about. Someone that I've known for about 30 years, that we had on our program not that long ago. I mean, we had her on the show when she was either 99 or 100 years old. She was a theater critic that I knew for many years, belonging to all these theater organizations.
Cover the camera for 1 second.
Oh, I'm gonna pull away from here for a moment. Oh, clever. Oh, you can drape it. Let's see. Oh, how nice.
I'm trying to make you look more fancy.
Oh, look at me. I'm like decked out like an Easter egg because it's got that patterning.
You look kind of, no, I made it so you don't see it, but it's kind of European.
Let me pull that down here. Yes. Where's my galois?
You need to be at the cafe having it. Let me get you a little espresso cup.
Well, here. Well, I've got.
Yeah, but no, a tiny espresso cup, like
Oh.
you need like a little.
Oh,
Yeah.
a Taz. Yeah, a
You
Taz.
need like a bouret.
I do. It's all right. This is fine though. Thank you, dear. I'll explain
It'll
this in a
also
moment.
keep the cold in too. It'll keep
Yeah,
it
that's
in.
yeah. I want pressing on me.
Okay.
But anyway, first let me say a farewell.
I heard the interview went well. Interesting.
It was great, wasn't it?
Interesting.
Yeah.
He would have been good on the quiz, David. He would have been.
I know.
If you had the quiz, he would have won. Or he was.
Well,
really,
we'll give David Short and Leslie
I
Hope
think
and like
the
run for their
history
money.
part, like if you did
Yeah.
history parts of it.
Yeah. It's funny now. I feel it here, which is it's just like this
Yeah.
traveling
So what happens
soreness.
is when you pinch a nerve, you get radiation of pain. Like I had a dream in college. I have because I have a messed up body, right?
Huh.
But I have an extra vertebra in my sacrum, so I have some pressure, some nerve compression, and it used to feel like someone was taking hot needles and running it down like this down my legs, like this, and I thought it was my legs.
Well,
I was like,
that sounds like sciatica.
no, it wasn't. It was
Yeah.
it was both legs, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
what it was a nerve was compressed, and then at Columbia they wanted to do surgery because that's what they want to do, and I was like, I don't want it, and then my Dr. Kafka was my holistic physician at that time. I mean, imagine in college when it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, right.
And he eventually went to Arizona to work with Dr. Weil, but he was so funny. He said, look, you're going to have to go to yoga. And this woman who eventually went to swim with dolphins and talk to dolphins, she stretched my back, like,
Yeah.
to stretch out the compression, and it worked.
Oh, good.
I
Thank
had no
God.
surgery.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
No,
a
also,
fan.
you wouldn't if you were sleeping, but the
Yeah.
first year or two we were married,
Yeah.
at night while you're sleeping, I would take pins
Oh, is
and
that
run
why?
them up
Okay,
and down the back of your
yes,
legs.
that could explain
Yeah,
why.
it got my rage out. So I was
Okay,
like,
so
yeah,
that's why. You should have told me.
yeah, the
It was
little
the-
holes. That's why when
Oh,
you
and I
go
went-
into a bathtub, it's like a flute.
No, I went to the chiropractor too, and she was about 98 pounds, and that woman had the strength of like Hercules. I was like, one time she cracked my neck, I was like, wow! And there was a little tiny, frail old woman, and she had left her, and they put these big heating pads on you that are moist heat, but they weigh like, they're
Yeah,
heavy.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
really
yeah.
heavy. And this one was like, help, help. No one could hear her, and I was in the next room, and you're in a gown, right? So I got up, and I was like, are you okay? She said, it's too hot, and I can't get it up. I can't move. And so I didn't want to go help her, so I got the receptionist who helped her.
Yeah.
But, because they had so many, and now every time I go near Grand Central, I think of her. She was on 38th and Park,
Oh, wow.
and she was like the best, like the absolute best. But it was pretty painful.
Yeah. So I will explain. Let me get back to the obituary in a minute. But this is yeah.
Oh God.
I'm alive. I'm more
that
important
could
than the
wait.
dead.
That could wait. I think.
Yeah,
that might
the
be-
dead people can wait. They can wait a long
I think
time.
that's probably true.
Yeah, no, but for somehow I wrenched something the last day or two, and it's not just like a soreness, and it's not just somehow something happened where it's just like pain on like from my shoulder to my clavicle down to like my upper
Yeah.
chest and armpit area. Joyce is thinking, I think this might be right, it's kind of a little pinched nerve thing. Because it was more generalized and then it got more and more concentrated to a point more acute. I don't think it's that cute. But,
Oh.
and Tylenol has helped a little bit. And because I tried heat, and I'm not really a heat person when it comes to acute pain. But cold, man, cold saved my life yesterday when this first came on me. And just this numbing, cool sensation on on the area and areas. Because I didn't feel it here. Now I feel it here. And like this, what the hell?
You know what happens? It's like that's like remember when your uncle he broke his collarbone and things that you move like. So if you hurt your hand, it's bad, but you can isolate your hand and not move it.
Right.
But things like ribs are painful because you're moving, you're breathing. Anything in like your shoulder or your clavicle because you're moving. So when you breathe, you move. Anytime you move, you're moving it. So that's why it's painful.
I mean, yesterday it was literally, if I took a deep breath, it was painful. Today, not so much.
Is it time for your
No, unfortunately not. I mean, I
time?
took 8 o'clock. I took my last Tylenol, and then 9 o'clock I took my last dose of heroin. So it's I'm trying to match those both together. So it's not so bad. I mean, I've been perfectly fine doing the shot. It was bad when I woke up this morning because you're in a certain position. You're stiff.
I was gonna wake you, but when you were sleeping on your side. And like, I'll be honest with you, like even with my vertigo and stuff, the best way to sleep is like on your back with pillows under your knees, because you lean, you know, you don't want to have one side. If one side's pulling over, it's affecting, or one side's being squished. Yeah. It's very.
But I don't know if I could have gotten back to sleep on my back again. Yeah, so I said, hey, you know, I'm feeling all right. I've been sleeping. I took some Tylenol. Let me turn over on, because I tried turning on the bad side and I almost yelped. So I said, no, this is not a side I should try to sleep on. But let me try this side. And I did. I got back to sleep. But when I woke up, oh my God, it was like, Star Spangled Banner in my head. But I'm fine, ladies and gentlemen. I'm nice and cold now. Oh, it feels so good. And, again, this is better than what I'm talking about dead people here. So I do want to say a farewell to my critic friend, Irene Backalenick, who passed away.
Oh, that's sad.
A while. Actually, I missed this, unfortunately. She died back in December of last year at the age of 102. 102. Some info about her. She graduated summa cum laude from Brown University and got her doctorate from CUNY. And then she wrote theater criticism for a lot of Bridgeport, Connecticut places, as well as she also wrote feature stories for the New York Times. So yay for her. She retired from criticism a few years back, like in her early 90s, and wrote poetry and published little poetry books and stuff like that, and basically remained pretty healthy well into her, that would be her 9th decade or her 10th decade? 9th decade, yeah. And so I wish I'd known about it a few weeks ago when she passed, but got to say a farewell from the Daverhood to Irene Nay Margolis Backalenick, who did leave us a few weeks back, and to Karl Wallinger of World Party. So always sucks to bid farewell to people who've been in the Daverhood, our friends.
She was a really good, she got to self-actualize and do what she wanted as a critic. I mean, that's...
Yeah. I mean, it makes me feel good. I mean, I'm not going to live to 102, but the idea that I might have 40 more years left, that's possible.
It is.
Unless I'm in pain.
But look at my friend Dorothy, she would have been over 100. I mean, it's a lot of stuff,
Yeah. Well, no, how old was Dorothy? She was 98.
96.
No, but that's not...
Yeah, but she just had a shoulder tear she didn't want to repair, and if she didn't, whatever it was, to put her on hospice. But everyone in her family lived long. I mean, it's genetics and environment. We know that, right?
Oh well, yeah, of course.
I just think it's nice when people get to do things they want in their life. Like, we always don't do what we want, but if you can do a job you want, or something that's, look, your sloth's flipped.
Oh yeah, they're behind me.
The little tushy one. There's one flipped. You had them both with their faces forward.
Yeah, but they've been staying. I mean, this was 2 hours ago.
No, but he flipped forward. So the one was facing. I think they both were facing upward, like you saw their faces.
Yeah.
And now the one's facing the wall.
So you can see the.
And he got his little fat pocket out.
But it's weird. I thought they're supposed to climb down the wall.
No, over time. It's not right.
They're brand new.
David, they're sloths.
Oh, you're right. They're slow. Yeah. They're slow sloths.
You look like you're in Phantom of the Opera now. The Phantom of the Opera.
Sloth sliding away. Sloth sliding.
Is there anything else you want? When is your next Tylenol booking?
Oh, not until 12. Because you can't take more than 10 in a day.
I know, but I don't know what I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I took them at 4 a.m.
I started the bread machine with the sesame
Oh, nice.
Why do I keep saying that?
With sunflower seeds.
Yes. Yeah. Why do I keep calling them sesame?
I don't know. Well, because your bread machine is open. So it's sort of an open sesame.
I'm checking on it. What is so 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, but I'm checking to make sure it doesn't burn, because I did put it on the biggest bread because it was full, and it was full.
Right.
And so the big bread and the middle bread are only 5 minutes apart. So.
Right. To save the yeast. I'm just feeling crusty today. It looks like I'm the Phantom of the Opera behind the curtain. It's like.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it
kind of looks like you're in like Scarlett O'Hara and Gone with the Wind when she wore the curtain.
Oh man! All right. So anyway, what else do we want to? As I said, we have Bug in Watch. We have our Limerick of the Damned, and we've got Big Dictionary.
We also have smaller ice packs that you could if you wear a tight shirt, you could put them.
No, this is fine. I'll keep it on for 15 minutes because you're not supposed to really keep it on.
It'll get cool after that anyway, so you're fine. You could leave it on; it'll get cold. I mean, it'll get warm.
So let's talk about, or let's see. I just sat down, so I don't want to do bunion watch right now and start dealing with all
No,
that.
just save that for next time.
Well, no, people want to see my
No, but you
bunions.
did talk about your shoe experience, so that was enough bunion today.
Did I talk about
Yes,
the shoe?
you
No,
did.
we didn't.
Yes, you did. You talked about trying on shoes and stuff. You did that today.
Really?
Before the
No, we
guest.
mentioned very briefly. I didn't really talk about it. I didn't say we went to the place and I
Okay.
couldn't find a shoe.
This could be like a bunion lead-in for next time.
Yeah, all right. So I'll give you that we went to, I think it was Kohl's, and we stopped in there, and they have all these Skechers shoes, and it's a lovely idea. They're making these shoes that are nice, casual, but they're not like sneakers either. They are shoes, and you just put your foot right in them. What a wonder! All these years I've been
And
loving
they have
Velcro.
like a memory foam sole, David. They're memory foam sole.
No, because when I was growing up, and you wanted a nice shoe, and you had this beautiful shoe, and you didn't have to tie them, you didn't have to deal with laces, but you still have a shoehorn. So, because otherwise you buckled the rear, the heel of the shoe is such a pain in the ass. Now, these are made so that if your foot is the right size for the shoe, it goes in.
Yeah.
There's no laces, there's no ties, there's no buckles. It just goes in and stays in. And a couple of weeks ago,
They look good. Your shoes look great. You have to bring them up one time and show people.
So we got like 3 weeks ago this pair of Skechers that I've been wearing and using.
That was a DSW.
For school. Yeah. So we thought, hey, holy crap, Kohl's has these shoes. Let's get a different style. Let's get a different color. Let's find them.
And
if I tell you,
leather ones.
yeah.
But what's interesting is they started at size 8. What happens for people with smaller feet?
Tell me about it.
Maybe
Tell
what
me about
happens is that, my theory that stores only bring in products that they can sell. So maybe the average customer has that size.
The average male
Yeah.
customer is not 5'2". Average
I
male
would
customer
think
is
they started
5'7".
At least a 7. I don't know what the average shoe size is. I'm gonna ask them.
Probably 8.5.
I don't. Yeah, maybe because that's what they're selling. Or maybe you could get on the website, but you said you have to try on shoes.
Yeah.
What's the average shoe size for an American male? 10.5. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I'm a tiny man.
Wow.
I'm a little baby man, ladies and gentlemen. 10.5 is average?
Yeah, it says 7 is small for a man.
Yes, 7 is small. 10? That means there are men, a lot of
It
them.
says a shoe size smaller than 8 is considered a small shoe size
Yes.
for men.
Yeah, but that means 8 starts average. Or 8.
Yes, yeah.
But you should have said 10.5 is the
That's the
median.
average of all of them. I guess they have like a Sasquatch.
There's people who's wearing size 13.
They have like a Sasquatch.
I mean, think about that. If that is the middle, if 10.5 is the middle,
But look, this is UK. It's 8.5. See,
well,
but it's
yeah.
different because. But I use European size. I don't do American.
I don't blame you.
I use them. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I
but I
think-
always knew when I was growing up, I was a 7,
Yeah.
and I wear a 7.5
I
because
think
I
you're a
needed
good
the extra.
9.5 or 10. You're.
Oh, well, thank you. No, but seriously, because of my bunions, because of my white feet, I would wear one size bigger. Or if I was really lucky and sneaky, I could wear a slightly smaller size on my left foot
Oh God.
and grab a slightly larger size on my right foot because my right foot has the bigger bunion and it's more problematic. But like going through the shoes 2 days ago or yesterday at Kohl's and trying to put these things on.
Well, you know why? I'll tell you.
Why?
So even
Yeah.
for me, it's why I get my sneakers online. The front of the sneaker or the shoe has to be for me like a box. It can't be like a V.
Yeah,
If
well,
it's
yeah.
like a pyramid, that's not
Yeah.
good because it will crush my toes. It has to be like, that's why I like my Birks because they're open and they're good footbed.
I remember my Uncle
Yeah.
Sonny. He used to, my late Uncle Sonny. He when he dressed, and he would wear these shoes, and it was like the point. They came to a point.
Like cowboy boots, are
Yeah.
like that. I don't know what. Maybe for.
I don't know how he did. I'm sure there's no toe that could go all the way
So
up
maybe
into the diamond of a
that part
triangle.
where you see the triangle is empty. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's
I'm
but
sure
even so,
cowboy boots stop and then they have that extra.
but it was me. As like Joyce, I need the box. I need like a big round
Yeah.
horseshoe shape.
It's like the shape of the teeth,
Yeah, literally like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Most people, I would think.
when I find them, or this is why I wear Velcro sneakers.
Yeah, but your
'cause-
Skechers shoes are beautiful.
They're great. And I thought I'd get new Skechers, but every time, if I put one on 8, I couldn't get my foot. If I put 8.5, my heel would be coming up and down because it was too big for my
Well,
foot.
what you could do, what they told me, and I don't know if this is true, if if you have it where your heel does that, they have little things you can put in the back of the
Yeah.
shoe.
But you're already
I know,
jerry-rigging a shoe that
I
is not
know,
meant
I
for your
know.
foot.
Well, but you know, sometimes it's difficult to find. Like, I have a couple brands that fit, but it's like a friend of mine. She's like, I'm petite. You know where they sell petite clothing? Like,
Yeah.
you have to not only find petite, but petite that fits you.
No kidding.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
always like with mom, when she would find a pair of pants she liked, I would say, like, read me the tag, and I would order like every color. And even doing that, one time I got her petite, which were high waters on her. There's a petite.
There's a petite, but of course there is. Well, if you
there's
can
a
find it.
petite. I was like, I didn't even think that was a thing.
Well, I'm sure they're like basketball players who go into a big and tall men's shop, and there's still like, well, are these shorts? No, those are long pants.
No, yeah, there was one company. They have beautiful clothing for women, and they said the pants are like extremely long, even on the models. And then when people bought them, you know, they review it, and they said, I'm 5'8", and I'm swimming in them, and like, it's okay to have an inch or two of fabric, but when you bring it to the tailor and you have like a foot of fabric, you know, and I was like, why would they, and then they were brilliant. The women on this site said, why don't you make your pants petite, regular, and, you know.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that
petite,
makes sense.
Yeah.
Petite, regular, and then like tall, right? So, you know.
Yeah. No, but even literally, also this week, come to think of sizes and stuff, I've been vacillating, and if you've ever seen me do that in the shower, you know how delightful that is. Thank you. You know, I'm buying a pair of pajamas online because I want to get a pajama set that isn't a ridiculous,
yeah, but these are going to be
unbearable
see-through.
plaid color. No, I didn't buy them. Which?
They said they were see-through.
Oh, that's right. So they said. So I'm looking at these, and I've got them in my cart at Amazon or whatever, that Walmart or Target or one of these, and I've got them in the cart, and I'm thinking about them because they have all the things that I want.
Oh,
right. This is important.
Here we go.
They're not horrible to look at.
Here we go.
They've got the button for the dick hole, or I don't even need that. I just need a dick slit. If you, no, seriously, you would be amazed how many pajamas and pajama sets where they have the trouser part for men, and there's no hole. What? Why? Why would you build something that you wear around the house where if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to pull them down, as opposed to sort of reaching in, finding the fire hose, put it back? No, I want a pair of pajamas where I can go, I can move, I wear briefs under the thing, I find Mr. Noodle, and boom, it goes back. And if there's a button that closes it up, so much the better. I don't even need the damn button because I wear briefs under my pajamas anyway. So I just give me a slit. I can open. Finding a pajama like this, finding a pajama that doesn't have this stupid drawstring closing. I want, not Velcro. What do they call it? Velcro would be good. Elastic. I want pajamas that fit, that are stretchy with elastic, so they're comfortable. They don't feel like I'm wearing a belt all night. Yeah. Is this so hard to? It really is. It is hard to, and it's hard sometimes to find a pajama set where the tops are buttoned down. Now they have these things. It's like you're wearing a polo shirt with pajama pants. How hard is it to make pajamas with long sleeves, buttons down the front, a V for the puckle, with maybe a button for the puckle, and elastic, rather than having to close everything and then tie it up. And then it's like shoelaces. You're constantly having to tie and retie and tighten.
You look like a monk.
Right?
You look like one of those Italian poets or a monk. You have that kind of...
An Italian poet from the 13th century. No, but, so finally I find them. I find a pair like this online, you know, after scrolling through pages and pages of fucking pajamas for like $15, $20, $25. And I find a pair of pajamas. They're nice looking. They're, you know, small, medium. They're this, they're that, they're that. And I put them in the cart because I don't want to pull the trigger without trying them on. And then I start reading. I say, yeah, they're fine. They're a little flimsy, but what do you expect for $20? They're this. Fine. And then several people said, yeah, but the thing is, they're made for people who are probably 5'10".
Oh, wow.
Because I get these pajamas, I put them, and I'm stepping over the fronts of them. Which I did all my childhood, by the way, because I was such a small child. What was that? You know, my parents would, well, my dad won't remember anything, he's dead, but my mom would remember this of, I would literally wear out the bottoms of my pajamas because I'd be stepping over them all day, and they were always terrified I would trip. And I never did. I was always stepping on the bottom of my pajamas, going up and down stairs, going this and never a problem. I just did it. But it was icky because it wore out the bottoms of my pajamas and made them look really ratty and torn. Until at one point, my mom or my grandma would literally cut the bottoms of my pajamas so they go above my ankle. And then I felt like Tom Sawyer. I hated that. I hated that.
Yeah, you were Tom Sawyer.
It sort of felt like unfinished. It felt like I was not wearing proper pajamas at all. That I was like some incredibly poor person who couldn't have a decent pair of pajamas. So I hated it. But still, I ended up pulling these pajamas out of my Amazon cart this week, very, very particularly because it's like, hey, if you're 5'2", there's going to be 6 inches below your heel. Like it's just going to be front forward on these pajamas, and unless you're tailor, or unless you cut them, which is fine, you can cut them, but then they'll start looking shabby almost immediately, and they'll wear, and then you'll start tripping over little threads coming out. I was like, somebody just make a decent pair of pajamas. It would be a nice thing. It is so unbelievably hard to find, and and the one thing that I don't do that I should do more of is go into like the young adult and children's section of department stores, because I'm more likely to find pajamas that would fit me. If I get a 10-year-old husky, that would be the perfect size for me in terms of pajamas I could wear. But to find a set of those, as opposed to unconnected individual garments, top and bottom, good luck on that. Anyway, you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, and my wonderful wife, Joyce. So it is the 936th, sorry shifting this, I should just leave it. The 936th episode of Dave's Gone By on this March 23rd, 2024. We're calling it the Suzuki Method. We still have our Colorado Limerick of the Dam to do, and we have Rabbi Sol Solomon's Rabbinical Reflection, Jokes for Purim. He does this almost every Purim when he remembers to, where he'll tell a couple of really hilarious Jewish jokes and comment on them as well as part of his mini-sermon, his Rabbinical Reflection. All that coming. As Joyce said, we'll probably table Bunyan Watch until next week. Yeah, but we still have other stuff to do. Let me talk about something supernatural for a moment. And I do not believe in supernatural things. I do not believe in psychics. I don't believe in life after death or UFOs or aliens or any of this stuff. What?
You don't believe in that kind of stuff.
I knew you were going to say that. No, I just don't believe. I believe there are weird things that we can't explain. I have had deja vu. And I've had you predict things, and I've had you, or senses of things that are happening or stuff. But still, I don't know. There's a cynic and like an earthy part of me that does not want to believe anything that cannot be proved. That's the reason I'm not an Orthodox Jew, is because it's like, yeah, I believe there's some kind of God spirit up there, but to explain it and to believe the book, not so much. So, all of this is apropos of saying that we had something incredibly thrilling and supernatural happen this past week. You might want to get your phone.
Let me get my phone.
This is.
I think I know what you're thinking.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of.
Our friend with the knife.
With a knife? Wait, I'm not sure what she's talking about. But, so here's the deal. And I guess this doesn't happen all fall and winter, but towards the beginning of spring, the light changes. Of course, the days get longer than the thing. This, right? Okay. So Joyce and I have a lovely master bedroom in our house here in northern Baltimore. And the walls are painted gray, nice flat,
We don't have
normal
the
walls.
Easter one. We have just.
Oh, yeah. So save that. I'll show it in a minute or two, so it's going to be gone by the time I show it. But this is a real thing. So I'm looking at the wall. And we keep
Could you
our.
preface this by saying you don't take any drugs?
I've taken Tylenol. That is the most drugs I've taken in the past like 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm taking Tylenol this morning. So I'm looking at one of the walls in our bedroom. And I understand that most of the day we keep our curtains, especially since it's been winter, we have
For heat.
windows.
Yeah,
We
to
keep the
it
curtains
warm.
closed. Yeah. And also, I don't need people looking in on our business. But
Well, except Mr.
oh yeah, well yeah. So there's one wall, and to the side of that wall is, on the same wall, is a window, right?
Of course.
Windows with curtains over them, but some light can stream out from the side of the curtains, a little bit. So I'm looking, and it's the middle of the afternoon, and I don't have any other lights on in the room. There's just the little bit of light that streams out from the sides of all the curtains in the room, because we have 3 sets of windows in the room. And so you can actually see, I mean, it's light out, it's daylight, it's a sunny day. And I'm looking, and I notice something on the wall I've never seen before. And it looks like there's a bulge. It looks like there's a nose, a human nose, growing.
Preface it, we have nose rock in the yard. Maybe there's some kind of.
A thing in this
maybe
house.
projects it like Batman. You know, Batman has the bat signal. Maybe
Yeah.
tell him
Explain.
nose rock.
Can you explain nose rock?
You explain it better.
Well, we have a garden. We also have a lovely garden in the back of the house, and it goes fairly deep. And we have, a lot of topiary and some bushes and branches. And then also a couple of nicely placed rocks in the back of the garden for variety, right? One of the rocks, depending on the time of day and the way, if it's a sunny day.
It's like a sundial.
In a manner, and sometimes it looks like a rock, and sometimes it looks like a lobster, but sometimes it looks like a human nose. We call it nose rock, because if you glance at it from our bathroom or from whatever, it looks like it looks like a nose. And we call it nose rock. So we have a theme, I guess, emerging from our house in terms of our house and noses. Don't understand why.
Look up what the symbolism is.
Of a nose, yeah. And then this past week, I look at the wall and I see, and there's like a nose bulging out of the wall. And I go near it, astonished, because I don't know if there's a leak or something like that, or there's some kind of weird problem with the plaster or whatever. And I go near it, and then I wave my hand over it, and the nose disappears. And I realize that this nose, the 3-dimensionality, is being, let's see, what a nose represents. This representation is certainly related to the symbolic force of the nasal appendage. Not only a vector of diverse and variable odors, well, in a bedroom, it's but also a passage for the spirit and to the heart. The nose is therefore a significative, who came up with that word?
Pedantic.
Element of relation, of contact, and of expression. Wow.
Ooh.
Let me tell you about the nose. I'm glad I picked it.
It says, look what it says. It says
What?
A person's nose represents the passageway between the soul and the heart. It signifies breathing in life force energy.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Although a mouth does more of the breathing, but whatever. They can.
It says a goggle. It's a goggle play too, for pride and vanity.
That I get, because if you're stuck up, your nose is in the air and you're snotty. Get it? Snot. I wonder if that's where snotty came
Yeah, it
from.
says the nose escapes from the guy's face and addresses like a person of high rank in the play.
Right. And what was the line in The Odd Couple where they pull open the peephole?
Did you know in Gogol's play it says the nose wore glasses and they couldn't recognize the nose because he put on glasses. You put glasses on.
I do, yeah. But if you remember in The Odd Couple, there's one moment where Felix pulls aside, or maybe Oscar pulls aside the keyhole where you see who was outside the door, and you could just see Murray Greshler's nose, Al Molinaro, the actor. And there was another episode, which really is one of the nastiest things Felix ever said. It's like, Murray, come in here, you're breathing up all the air in the hall.
That's horrible.
It was really mean.
Was he the policeman?
Yeah, remember Murray the cop? And then Murray, he ended up being on
I do
Happy
remember what
Days
you're
also.
talking about,
Yeah. So, I wave my hand in front of this wall, and the nose disappears. And then I step away from it, and the nose immediately comes back. So I probably should have realized immediately, but I'm an idiot, that the nose was being formed three-dimensionally by the
David,
light. Yeah.
David, don't. So your guest wrote you a nice email, but he invited you or the rabbi to his show.
What did his show? Oh, his podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I don't know if there's anything I or the rabbi do that's better. Let me see if I can write this on that.
You might want to read it first and then just edit.
Oh, no. First of all, he apologized for using the term concentration camps, which is, I don't know if this is for everybody's whatever, but and we talked about it. So he changed it to internment camps in the thing. Lovely.
What a great guest, huh?
He was great. So I realized that this nose is being created three-dimensionally via light onto the wall. Now, any normal person, and I am not one of those, would have just figured out something else to do. Would have just pulled the curtain, or just been like, "Oh, that's interesting."
You were very fascinated by it. I remember you being very intrigued by this.
Yeah. But a normal person would be like, "Oh, that's so cool that the light is creating some sort of bulgy effect that looks like a nose." And I remember I called you and I was all excited. But then old Dave was like, I must make something of this.
Of course.
We have a nose on the wall, which makes absolutely no sense unless you turn the whole thing into a face. So this is what I began to do, because we do have Google eyes that we put on things. I'll rephrase that. We do have Google eyes that I put on things. Joyce just tolerates it. And then so I was like, hey, I can design something. And so I take the Google eyes, I put tape on them above the nose, and then I think I give it a mouth too. Like, you didn't like the mouth. I put a rubber band underneath it, and that bothered you.
It looked very horrific.
I thought it was cute. You were fine with the eyes, but the mouth kind of threw you, the rubber band mouth. So then we worked on it, and you were like, you know what? I can do better than your rubber band mouth. And not I, but Joyce. Joyce
I'm trying to help you.
started cutting out construction or cardboard paper, a mouth, for this face that we had on the wall. And this was exciting to me, to both of us. So we created out of nothing a face. And the thing about Nosewall, or as I renamed him, Mr. Nosenbloom.
Yeah, that's his new name.
Is it Mr. Nosenbloom?
That's his real name.
Yeah. Is that the sun does go away, obviously. And it's only out for an hour or two or three, depending on the day. It's not going to be out today because it's so gray. But with eyes and a mouth, the face stays. Right? So it's pretty neat. Well, and then what did I think? I thought, well, let's give him, I think I was going to say hands or whatever it was. But then you were like, you know what? It's St. Patrick's Day. Let's make a leprechaun. So Joyce also cuts out like a hat and things. So she cuts out on green paper, a hat. She puts it on it. She puts it over the eyes. I put glasses on the eyes too, which I thought was a cool touch. It gives it three-dimensionality. Yeah. So she makes a hat. She makes the mouth. I make the glasses and the eyes. And the nose came with the thing. And so this is like the finished product.
We have a new one now.
Yeah, we make an Easter one.
But tell
but
them
understand that this is
it's going to be a seasonal.
Oh yeah. This is for St. Patrick's Day. This was Mr. Nosenbloom. You can kind of see the Scotch tape, but that looks like eyebrows. And of course, the mouth. Understand that very prominent bulbous nose does not exist. That is a light creation.
Exist.
Well, it
exists. It's from it's a play of light. What do you call it?
There's no bump on the wall. This is a completely
At least it doesn't look
carved
like
out of
this.
light. Oh God, yeah, no. But the fun thing was that before we figured out some of the other stuff, we were also thinking in terms of making like a bunny for Easter. So we take away have the hat away for a bit, and we just had like eyes and the mouth, and then I put up two white socks with Joyce's little socks to put up there to be like hands or paws like a bunny would have. And so just imagine nose rocks. So you've got the nose, you've got or depending on the time of day, the eyes, some kind of nose, mouth, and socks, white socks like this. And then we're having issues this past week with some plumbing things. We've got a dishwasher sink that is not draining properly. It's barely draining at all. So there's a bag clog. We called plumbers in to look at that and also to look at a possible issue with our hot water heater. Oh, the joys of home ownership. So we have the guy come in and he tells us, it's like, he gives us the gold plan. A clog in a pipe, in a washer sink, could cost up to like $900. So remember you called roto-readers like $50 and they put a snake and they go poof and they flush the thing out and say thank you very much. Now roto-rooter is apparently $300-400, and this guy, reputable plumber, recommended blah blah blah. Like, well, yeah, probably these are old and this is this, and you've got to replace the pipe, and yeah, $850. Like, Jesus fucking, we're not counting tip, right? For a clogged sink. Not a whole new sink, not a whole new, just we'll take the pipe out. So we're still thinking about it. We're still for 3 days we've been deliberating over getting out a clog. But we have the guy in, and because we have the guy in, because we want him to look at that, and since he's there, since we're spending the money just to have him walk in the door, we have him look at our hot water heater and a little bit of dripping that it's doing, and then to come upstairs because we have a slow toilet, a toilet that we can't put in our regular school because he's kind of slow. It's about the leak more than anything else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about having the plumber come.
Your nut.
We have so we bring the. I wasn't there. I was teaching, but Joyce is bringing the guy through the house. He's looking at the stuff downstairs, and then he comes upstairs to show him, like there's a little bit of a drippage and there's a leak thing, and then we have one toilet that doesn't really flush the way we'd like it to, and we had other plumbers in there, and they said they can't do anything. But this man, he's a very, very nice, apparently, really nice black man, middle-aged black man. And he goes past our bedroom to get into the bathroom where the toilet and shower are. So what you've got to do, though, is you have to kind of imagine that before he looked like this with the glasses and the obvious Irish hat, it was just eyes, that nose, that sort of a big wide mouth, and two white socks, kind of like this. And when I got home, and Joyce tells me, I brought him upstairs, and he kind of looked, glanced into our bedroom as he was going into the bathroom, our all-suite bathroom, if you will. And he saw that. And I realized immediately that what he looked like was a face out of a minstrel show from the 1920s. Because he had the eyes, this big wide smile, and two white hands going, oh, hello, my baby, hello, my honey, hello. So whether or not he sensed that or got any kind of thing of like, oh, that's interesting, or whether he just thought it was sort of a nutty thing on the wall. I'm hoping it's the latter.
I saw most of the unicorn. I mentioned that.
Yes, well, that's true. He also saw downstairs that we have giant, enormous shit-stained unicorn sitting in our parlor. We've shown pictures of this, and we've told the story of this, of neighbors of ours who had this, I guess, for their child many, many years ago, and they were doing a garage sale and clearing out the junk from their house. And among the junk things was this bigger than me, well, I'm small, but as big as Joyce, unicorn, plush pink unicorn, just sitting out there on their lawn. And I saw this, and I ran over to it, And Joyce was like, Dave, don't touch that. And of course I start touching it and petting it and marveling at it.
We have a lot of pictures of it too.
Oh, we do. Oh, we do. And I also noticed that, or Joyce notices first probably, that on the side of the unicorn there's this brown sort of schmutzy old stain on it,
Right.
which could be human
Anything.
feces. Yeah. Could also be chocolate milk because it's child's thing. It could be anything. But it's an old brown stain. And we look at all the stuff at this garage sale. And we're like, well, thank you very much. And we go back in. And Joyce and I are kind of looking at each other. And I'm like, well, that was an interesting yard sale. That was a, you know.
Yeah, it was not really. No, it was supposed to be a community yard sale, but there was no heck of
Yeah.
a lot.
So we didn't really buy anything. We kind of looked at. And then I noticed that all day long, the unicorn sat there
Wow.
with no one taking it.
It
No
got
one buying it.
got
It was like
worse.
$5 or $10 or
The
something.
worst part, David,
Yeah.
I felt was that it was sitting out there. And
Well,
she-
they ended up
she
putting it out on the
moved it to
curb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. I felt bad for him. Like,
So
that's
it became something that for the
insult
garbage
to
pickup.
injury. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and she said, I just hope somebody takes it.
Well, that's a cue.
That's not.
If I've ever heard one.
That's not.
So hours later, with the thing sitting out there on the curb, I was like, you know what? At least temporarily, we need to bring unicorn into our house. I have no great love for unicorns. I love narwhals, which I guess are related, although one is real. And we love all sorts of other animals. But I was never not a child that loved unicorns growing up. I didn't love, what are the brony things? What are those called? What do they call that? My Little Pony kind of thing.
Yeah,
The unicorn.
yeah.
Never on my wheelhouse, and rainbows and shit, not my thing. But suddenly I was like, we need this temporarily, and then we will get rid of it. Well, it's been about 10 months now, maybe 8 or 9 months since we've had it. We have made legitimate efforts to give the
Everybody,
unicorn away.
Every single human being that we encounter, and then people are like, well, maybe, and then let me call someone. They're like, no.
Literally, no. People come to the house to fix things, and it's like, hey, we're not only overpaying you for whatever you're doing, but we would like to give you a massive toy unicorn for the child in your life or the child in you. And they're like, no, we're okay. No, we have a cleaning person who comes in once a month, wonderful lady. We give her the shipment of maxi pads. What a life. We accidentally, for no good reason, Amazon sends us a box of
Yeah,
maxi
that's
pads.
so weird. That's weird.
Every month. And there's no way to stop it.
No, we can't. They said no.
So literally, we're not paying for it. But somebody somehow glitched a number, or as a practical joke, has been sending us maxi pads once a month. And they're stinky. They're scented. Because they're down there to cover the pussy smell, right? So we get these once a month. Don't know what the hell to do with them. And have been giving them to our cleaning lady. She's pregnant now. She still takes them because she has a sister.
She has sisters.
Yeah, but still, it's kind of weird. It's like she's literally showing now in her belly. And he's like, here, have some maxi pads. And she's very grateful. She's like, oh, thank you very much. We're not saving her money. We're saving her sister, from having to buy always maxi pads. But we get things. But this woman, she's having a boy, right?
Yeah, no.
If she were having a girl.
You were hoping for that. You were hoping to give the.
Yeah, in a year or two.
They'll be in summer. Maybe the kids around the pool, or if they ever have a yard sale thing again, we can try to sell it.
Yes.
And we could say, like, guess the weight of the unicorn and you get it free.
Oh,
or,
yeah.
Or name the unicorn.
If you guess within more or less 80 pounds.
If you make a guess. If you make any guess.
If you're breathing.
We just need. It's like one time I was at So my mother was like, in order to get new toys, I had to sell my old toys.
Oh.
So we went to which I didn't mind. I was not attached to stuff.
Yeah.
So we had a flea market, and I remember I was selling bikes, and I was like, I don't care. I want to get rid of them because, when bikes, you grow up, you can't ride
bicycle.
you can't ride the little one. So people are like, can you save it? Or I want that for me. And like, you could hold it for someone. And and Mom said, like, hold it for an hour or two or whatever. But I was like, the unicorn's the opposite of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's the opposite.
So, and it's still in our what would you call our parlor room, our
It's
front.
in our like reading room.
Yeah, yeah. A big, enormous paint, formerly shit-stained unicorn. Joyce cleaned the poo-poo stain off it so that you really can't even see where it had been stained and besmirched and possibly shat upon. So it's a perfectly good used unicorn. Contact me. I can't mail. If I were to ship it to you, it would cost $250 to put, in the U.S. Postal Service. But there's got to be some way, if you really want a unicorn, and who wouldn't, to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
I'm still upset that I didn't get the bunny to go with it. Do you remember that garage sale bunny?
No.
Because the unicorn is a
The
cute...
bunny was creepy. It looked like a human being wearing a bunny costume, and I didn't know what was in that costume. That was creepster.
The bunny costume was horrible. See, the unicorn thing is cute. It's a child's toy. It's a manufactured professional thing that you find at FAO Schwartz or whatever. But we saw at a garage sale on the front porch this enormous rabbit sitting in a chair, and it was made out of like straw and thatch and burlap with like I don't know what the hell. I'll bet it's worth like thousands of dollars. I'll bet it was some kind of thing made in the 1920s.
No, I don't think so, honey.
Really?
I mean, you mean thousands of pennies, but I do no, that was not.
Actually, thousands of pennies would add up, but still, I wonder if they still have that rabbit. If that comes out in the next garage sale, because they were only charging $15 for it, and I was so tempted. But I had the feeling that it was like covered with bed bugs and lice.
Well, because she had a lot of bed bug treatment stuff in her downstairs.
Yeah, right. That sort of froze me for a minute.
Yeah.
When we were going through that place, there was also they had for $1 they had a big what do you call it? A poop pillow on one of their beds.
Oh yeah.
What do they call it? A poop emoji pillow. And I was I wanted one of those. It'd be great. And then we saw literally on one of their shelves like bed bug treatment. And I'm like, maybe not take the poop pillow. Maybe leave that for someone else.
Yeah.
But only we, Joyce and I, have Mr. Nosenbloom on our bedroom wall. And how proud we are of that, huh? Yeah. It's a little after 11:30 in the morning here on this Saturday morning, March 23rd, 2024. The 936th episode of Dave's Gone By. So we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned to do, where we're going to Lazear, Colorado. I'm sorry, what?
How you feeling?
I should probably take this off about now because it's been on me for like 20 minutes or so at least.
Well, I'll go put it back in the fridge here.
Yeah. So.
You want me to give you a tiny cold pack? You could tiny cold pack it.
Well, no. The point is to you have the hot and cold
I
alternate.
You can just cold pack it.
Oh, all right, fine. Yeah.
Because it's not a cute injury now. It's a.
Oh, it was never cute. It was handsome for a certain period of time. But anyway, let me bring on His Eminence once again, Rabbi Sol Solomon, because tonight in America starts the Jewish holiday of Purim, a happy holiday. You eat hamantash, you spin a ground, you do all these things. It's fun. So here's the deal. Rabbi Sol celebrates Purim with comedy, with humor, with joy, with a rabbinical reflection, like a mini sermon that he does, where he will be telling Jewish-oriented jokes. What's better than that? So, without further ado or don't, I'm going to share my screen. Wait, let me pull that down so you don't see all my files. Share screen. Here it is. So now you should be seeing this. And let me pull up for your delectation Rabbi Sol Solomon's Rabbinical Reflection. It's his 182nd, by the way. And it's for Purim. It's jokes for Purim of 2024. Please to enjoy.
Shalom, damn it! This is Rabbi Sol Solomon with a rabbinical reflection for the joyous holiday of Purim. Purim is one of those times when the Jews faced brutal annihilation, and yet were somehow spared and got revenge. Kind of like last year. When reading the Purim story, the Megillah, we use noisemakers to drown out the names of our bitterest antagonist, Haman, which is Persian for Sarandon. We also dress in costumes so the IRS won't recognize us, and we're supposed to get so drunk we're unable to distinguish our friends from our enemies. In that way, we're like left-wing Democrats. My manner of celebrating the Purim Simcha is to laugh. Ha ha ha! But so I don't seem psychotic, I attach my laughter to jokes. Freud said that comedy is an expression of the subconscious battling to be heard in a society that drowns out anything nonconformist. I think that's what he said. I don't speak German. So let's examine the psyche of a couple of classic Jewish jokes. Yankel has found this girl on J-Date, and he's meeting in person for the first time. They've got an 8 o'clock reservation to meet at the swankiest kosher restaurant in town. But it's 7:50, and Yankel is circling the block, unable to find a parking space. He drives around again and still no spot. Finally, he prays to God. He says, God, this girl might be my beshert. Please let me find parking. But nothing opens up, and Yankel keeps driving. It's now 7:55, and Yankel's beside himself. God, he said, if you find me a parking spot, I'll never miss Friday services again. Still, no spaces, and he circles round the block. Now it's 7:59, and he's frantic. He calls out to Hashem, God, I swear, if you find me a spot, I'll donate $500 to the United Jewish Appeal. Suddenly, right in front of the restaurant, a car pulls out, leaving a space. Yankel says, never mind, God, I found one. What does this joke tell us about taking the Lord's name in vain? That we do it. That under duress we are apt to say anything, make any promise. It's what every person does going into surgery, hoping they'll come out of surgery. It's every horny putz who tells a girl he'll still respect her in the morning, and it's every girl who believes him. It's anyone who eats half a pizza pie and says, oh, God, I'm never eating again. 2 hours later, what, there's one slice left over? Let me just finish it. Humans show an uncanny talent for pivoting from need to satiation and right back to need. The little stops they make along the way to fulfill those needs, well, they're often forgotten the way a pregnant woman can't recall the pain of labor. After all, if Mama did, she'd shoot the father, punch her OB, and strangle the infant with its umbilical cord. Instead, she's moved forward, hugging the father, cradling her newborn, and wondering when her vagina will stop looking like the mouth of a camel. Anyway, let's have another joke, this one highly appropriate for our fraught and frightful times. When God was creating the world, he called his builders, the angels, together and told them his plan for a Jewish homeland called Israel. It will be a magical place, God said, beautiful, with hills, gardens, and so many natural wonders. And the Jews will be smart and resourceful. They'll build great cities and farms, make fantastic art, excel in science and engineering. Truly, Israel will be a beacon to all nations. Sounds amazing, God, said the angels, but won't the rest of the world see all this perfect stuff and be jealous of the Jews? No, the Lord replied, wait till they see who they have as neighbors. Of course, this joke has an especially jagged edge these days, even though, technically, Israel was attacked not by neighbors, but by its own squatters. Muslims were nice enough to give land to inside the Jewish state rather than forcing them to move to Africa or Arabia or, God forbid, Amityville. And the upshot is that for 75 years, while trying just to survive in our minuscule homeland, we've been confronted with non-stop terrorism and war. And now, the Arabs' misinformation campaign has been swallowed up by the kinds of teary-eyed liberals who think shoplifting is the store's fault, turnstile jumping is a human right, and blocking traffic is an act of courage rather than anarchy. But I'm sorry, it's Purim. I meant to keep things light. So here's one more joke. It's late night, and a policeman sees a car speeding down the highway. He pulls the car over and is surprised to see the driver, a rumpled, middle-aged Jewish man. The officer runs his information and says, "Mr. Schwartz, we both know you were speeding, but it's 2 a.m. Where were you racing?" "To a lecture," says the driver. "A lecture," says the cop. "Who gives a lecture at this hour?" "My wife." This isn't technically a Jewish joke. It could work for anybody, but the joke tastes Jewish because it teaches us that you always answer for your deeds. If it isn't to a policeman's blotter or a judge, it's to your spouse or your boss or your children or maybe just that reflection in the mirror. So, whenever possible, we try to be our better selves. Rather than dread the consequences of our actions, we want to anticipate the delight our efforts will bring to others. Needless to say, this is an ideal. And as flawed human beings, we're more likely to do the right thing for the wrong reasons, or the wrong things for any reasons, than to be perfect people. But on Purim, when right and wrong are intentionally confuzzled, we can simply enjoy the mishigas inherent in being human and Jewish. This has been a Rabbinical Reflection from Rabbi Sol Solomon, Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. Roger Waters, Jonathan Glazer, Susan fucking Surratt.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Sol Solomon, the blessed memory there, with his rabbinical reflection. If you have any issues or comments about Rabbi Sol, send your complaints to davesgoneby at AOL.com. DAVESGONE. Davesgoneby at AOL.com. Plus, you can follow Rabbi Sol on his Twitter feed at Rabbi Sol Solomon. 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 Sol Solomon. Plus, what else? What else do I? Well, I have a Twitter feed too, you know. Radio Dave 2. Radio Dave and the number 2. But the thing I did want to tell you more about Rabbi Sol Solomon is that he has a website called shalomdammit.com. And that is because so many of his things that he has done have to do with the word Shalom Dammit. His one-man show that he did off Broadway a few years back is called Shalom Dammit and Evening with Rabbi Sol Solomon. His TV show that he did for Long Island cable television was called Shalom Dammit, Rabbi Sol Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour. You can watch those episodes at his website, shalomdammit.com. And then, of course, his rabbinical reflections that he does here on Dave's Gone By several times a year. It's great to have him on the show doing so many of our interviews and the occasional sermon. Again, all his material, a great way to find it is going to shalomdammit.com. Anyway, I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and it is 11:45 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood on this 23rd of March, 2024, our 936th episode that we're calling the Suzuki Method. We still have our Colorado Limerick of the Dam to do, as well as our friends of the Daverhood, but I have been, I have been tasked with doing, I should get the music up, of Dave's Big Dictionary. This is a segment that we do where I will be receiving a word at random. In other words, I won't be picking it. Like my wife, Joyce, will thumb randomly through the dictionary, or in this case, the random word that Merriam-Webster Dictionary chooses as its word of the day. And then my job is later in the program, just off the top of my head, no preparation, no talking points, just here's a word. Think of stuff to talk about for 5 minutes. It's a challenge and something that I try to rise to the occasion to fulfill. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I'm just kind of lost. But I think I can manage with this one because the word that Joyce picked out, because Merriam-Webster's picked it out for the day. I'm going to need my glasses for this, for Dave's Big Dictionary, is pedantic. You know the word, pedantic. And so I'm going to talk about it on Dave's Big Dictionary.
Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary.
So here's the word. It is, of course, a variant of pedant, which is a noun, a person who makes a show of knowledge, or a formal and uninspired teacher. You know, someone who's kind of showing off their knowledge. They know a lot of stuff, but they don't really communicate it that well. They're just there to show you how much they know, and for you to be incredibly impressed by them. So a pedant is pedantic. How can I talk about pedantic? Well, it does bring up a couple of different things randomly to mind, because I myself am fairly pedantic. I'm an adjunct English professor. It comes with a friggin' territory. I'm a film professor who grew up watching silent movies and films from the 1950s. So I'm sure I come across to my students fairly often, sometimes trying to help them, and other times trying to say, well, the semicolon goes here for this reason. Or, let me tell you about Almodovar's films. And it's pronounced Almodovar because the accent is over the D-O-O rather than the var, the A in var, because other people do pronounce it Almodovar. Yeah! Doesn't matter, but I know this stuff, and I think about this stuff, and I want to impress you with the size and capacity of my brain, and therefore I can turn pedantic. The modern word for it almost is mansplaining, whether you're doing it to a woman or not. This kind of thing of like, here, I know these things. Let me tell you. Let me show you how much I know and how superior I am to you. A lot of us are guilty of that. I'm certainly guilty of that at times. But the word pedant does bring to mind, first of all, sorry?
How are you feeling?
I'm doing all right. I've got heat on now rather than the cold.
Now you look like Linus with this blanket, his little security blanket.
Oh, because my thumb's up. Like,
and you got the blanket, like the security blanket.
It is.
Linus always had his blanket.
And it feels nice when I press the warm.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. So, first thing that came to my mind, and remember, first thought, best thought is what they tell writers, is I heard the word and I was like, oh, I do remember, and I forgot that he was a friend of the Daverhood, songwriter and comedy guy Neil Innes, who was kind of like the fifth or sixth Python. What are you looking for, babe?
Oh, I put my phone.
I don't.
I'm going to look
Is that my phone?
Don't scratch it.
Your phone is right by your foot.
Oh.
So Neil Innes, who would tour with Monty Python when they did live shows and things at City Center, and was also in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. He sang the song Sir Robin. See, that's me being pedantic right there. And then he was in a lot of their TV shows as like a minor character. But I do remember he did a popular song of his for demented people called How Sweet to Be an Idiot. And he worked the word pedant into the lyrics. And he called someone out for being a pedant. You've got as much brain as a dead ant. I think he just wanted to use the word so he could make that rhyme the way I do with my Colorado limericks. So there's that stays with me when I hear the word pedantic from hearing Neil Innes use pedant in a song. But I do, this thought of mansplaining, of that border that you cross when you're a person or a teacher. Oh, thank you. Joyce literally found the lyrics.
I know you wanted to see it.
You are becoming my boy Gary or my who's
I'm your
my
intern.
Fred Norris.
I'm your intern.
Yeah, I love it. Well, not like a Japanese intern, more like a college intern.
Oh yeah.
Because we're talking about internment camps
no,
today.
not internment. I know. Oh.
So Neil Innes sings, hey, where is it? Let's see. Fee fi fo fum. I smell the blood of an asylum, because he's an idiot.
Yes.
Hey, you're such a pedant. You've got as much brain as a dead ant, as much imagination as a caravan sign. I never understood that lyric until reading it right now. I never knew what he was saying.
What's a caravan sign?
I don't know. It must be like
I'm gonna look it up.
It must be something that is not particularly imaginative.
A caravan.
Like, hey, we're a caravan, and they put that on a sign. What is a caravan?
Show me a picture of a UK caravan sign. Oh, here, yeah, you know why? Look what it looks like.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
caravan. Right, I got it. Imagine, because he would sing
If
this.
there's no imagination there, you pretty much know what it is.
I actually saw him do it live with Monty Python when they were at City Center. And I think he did it live when I saw him many, many years later at B.B. King's Blues Club. I think he did the song then too. But
Is it a famous song?
if you listen to Dr. Demento, you would know. If you're a Monty Python person, you would know it. Most normal human beings would not know it, or even know who or remember who Neil Innes was, unfortunately, because he was a pretty clever and good songwriter. And he was the guy from also Bonzo Dog Band, if you know the...
I don't know music like you, honey. I'm more...
See, I'm being pedantic right now in telling you, you remember the song, I'm the Urban Spaceman?
I don't know it because I don't know.
Well, it's a great song. I'm the Urban Spaceman, baby. It's very catchy. It was a novelty hit by the Bonzo Doodah Dog Band, or whatever they call themselves. See, a pedant would stop me right there and say, no, it's the Bonzo Doodah Dog Band, and then they shortened it to the Bonzo Dog Band, and now they're just called the Bonzos. It's like, all right, fine. But, the pedant showing what he knows, because he knows it, and is kind of proud of that and wants to show off. So we all have that bit of us in it, of being the advice giver, the mansplainer, the thing of, I want to help you. I want to share this bit of knowledge that maybe will stick to your brain, but even if it doesn't, I've shown you how much I know, and therefore I am something of a pedantic person. So yeah, I do it. I'm absolutely guilty of that when anybody asks me.
Is it like
anything.
esoteric, right?
Well, it can be esoteric knowledge. If it were common knowledge, everybody would not be a big deal that you did.
Okay.
But if you can sort of rattle off something that's like, well, it's
So
true,
what's
it's
the
right.
opposite of antonym of pedantic?
Antonym for that,
Obvious?
yeah, or helpful, or genuinely giving, genuinely
Humility?
Well, a pedant would not be humble in those moments.
Where is it? Do we have our encyclopedia with the...
That's in another room,
Oh,
or
that
it's
one
probably
has-
under that shelf in there. But what would be the opposite of pedantic? It would the antonym book, but except that antonym book doesn't have any words
Probably
in
won't
it.
have pedantic in it.
It's right there. You're facing it. It's literally See if it's in there
Oh.
for the thesaurus part.
I don't know which is which.
Opposite of pedantic would be genuinely instructive and helpful. Not exactly a word there, but I was being pedantic in constructing that definition,
The
wasn't
only
I?
thing they have that's close is pedigree and peep.
Pete.
Pedigree and peep.
No,
Pedantic's not in it. Let's see if it's in the other part of the dictionary. It's not even there.
So we're looking for pedantic in the terrible dictionary that we got free.
Limited. It's limited.
Yeah.
Very limited dictionary.
Does it have anything close?
It has.
But it has pederast.
It has pedagogue,
Yeah.
and pedagogue and pedal are the only things with PED.
Unbelievable.
So pedagogue is the teacher of children, a schoolmaster, and pedal is the foot.
Well, you can have a pedantic pedagogue, that's for sure.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, true that.
And pedagogue has, even though pedagogy is a perfectly accepted, good academic term, calling someone a pedagogue infers
It's not
pedantry, doesn't it?
Let's see what they have. in the
Notice how
medical-
pedantically I'm talking.
Let me see in the
Ah, well,
medical dictionary if they have anything that.
I hope that, well, Joyce is going to check our medical, if there is a disease associated with pedantry. Oh, this
no, not that.
medical dictionary has
No,
pictures in
I
it.
didn't want to see that right now.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that.
Yeah,
Ever.
never,
I
ever,
need to
never.
see- Oh, not that either.
No. Why don't you look up nerve compression?
I could.
Yeah. But we're looking for,
Oh, not
oh
that.
God, oh God.
Oh, not that. Oh, not that.
Oh,
either.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's okay. That's the hip.
Oh, all right.
I mean, I'm looking at a hip thing. That's interesting.
Oh, all right.
Oh my God.
Oh,
There's a pedicel.
what is that?
There's pediatrics.
Yeah.
Pediatric trauma score. Pedicel. Pediciliation. pedicule, peduncle.
Peduncle.
There's
What
a-
did they say about a
there's
peduncle?
Pedicule here.
Yeah, peduncle. That's we were talking about that on the manatee. Why would that be in a medical dictionary?
Because maybe we have them.
We have a peduncle.
I don't know, honey.
Where is it on my body?
Don't please stop screaming.
Okay.
Okay. Peduncle. Pedicel. You gotta look at it's right here. See the stem. Synonym is peduncle. Is a pedicel. It's a stem.
Wow.
See right here.
What do they mean by stem? Like a body part? Pedicel. I see it.
Okay, good.
The stem that attaches a new growth, the bony process that projects backward from the body of a vertebra.
You know what
connecting
it is?
with
Like,
a
you know
lamina.
when you have sometimes you get a mole and the mole has a stem. I
Yes.
think the stem could be a pedicel.
Or a peduncle.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is.
And you know,
Oh, look what happened.
look. And by the way,
The one sloth, he fell on the other one. That's not good.
you know who's married to the peduncle?
Who?
The pedant. Now that is Dave's Big Dictionary, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. On this Saturday morning, March 23rd. It's almost noon. Not quite. Well, we're getting ready to finish the show. We just have a couple
My
more.
bread is still cooking, so I
Oh,
keep
we got
checking on it
tons
that
of
it's
time.
not.
Yeah.
No, it's till 2, but I want to make sure it doesn't burn because
Oh yeah.
there's no butter in this one. It's olive oil, and then the other one that the nutritionist gave me is really interesting. It's
Yeah. What does it
is
have?
spelled? I don't know the flour. It's got a different flour, and they say you could use that rising thing, that rising gluten thing.
Oh, all
But
right.
if you don't want to use it, we'll look at the ingredients when we go.
Yeah.
But if we don't want to use it, you can replace it with lemon juice,
Oh.
like organic, like fresh
Okay.
lemons, like.
And that second recipe has human toes in it.
No. Oh God, David, please. We saw that on that show where they took the homeless guy's boot off and his toe fell out.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. I guess he had toe main poisoning. No, but ladies and gentlemen, it is, before we get to our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, I do want to do some thank yous and some happy stuff about folks who've been in the Daverhood. These are people who have guested on this program since our very first episode 21 years ago, all the way through the last week or so. We call them the Friends of the Daverhood. Whoa. Yeah. Sing it. Get down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Friends of the Daverhood for this Saturday. So those include, well, first of all, thank you very, very much to our brand new friend, John Suzuki. You're going to want to get his book, American Grit, by going to AmericanGrit.com or checking out his website, johnsuzuki.com. You're also going to want to hear his podcast, which is FindingBetter.com. The podcast title is Finding Better. And obviously a very well-spoken, very charming fella that you're going to want to listen to and you're going to want to read, American Grit. So, and we thank him, of course, for talking to Rabbi Sol Solomon in the Daverhood this week. And Rabbi Sol, we told you his website is shalomdammit.com and that his Twitter feed is at Rabbi Sol Solomon. And let's see what else is happening with folks who haven't been on the show today, but who have been on the show at other times. Well, first of all, got to wish a, what Rabbi Sol would call a refuah shlema, a get better soon, to our cabaret friend Richard Holbrook. His jaw cancer has reoccurred. So he dealt with it. It was parts of stuff cut out. He overcame it. He's been doing a lot of cabaret recently, like getting, really getting his career back started, and then suddenly, this reoccurs. So we really hope that it's not going to be that big a deal. And a refuah shlema to Art Paul Schlosser.
What happened to him?
Oh, you got to see the picture of him. It's on his
Is he
Facebook.
hurt? Is he hurt?
Yep.
What happened?
He actually puts this so beautifully. This is his posting on Facebook,
Oh,
quote,
goodness.
"Sorry to say,
Yeah.
but I was walking and didn't notice the sidewalk was up a little bit.
Oh no.
Then my foot hit it,
Oh no.
and before you know it, I was flying,
Wow.
but I remember I didn't have wings."
Well, that's good.
I love that. And it's like,
That's very good.
it's like-
He made sense of it.
yeah. I try to land softly, and this is beautiful, but above the sidewalk was more sidewalk.
Oh, oh no.
And it's beautiful.
Listen, as someone who's fallen twice on my knees, I understand it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, and I was kissed in the eye. by the shadow.
Oh no!
If you go Rabbi Sol to Art Paul's Facebook page, he's got like a big old bulbous shiner on his eye. It's nasty looking.
Oh, I feel sorry for him.
I felt even more sorry. My arm is sprained too.
Oh my goodness.
So I might not be playing guitar for a while because I sprained my strumming arm.
Oh, so that's the one he plays.
So poor Art Paul. Wish him all the best. Now, if you don't know Art Paul Schlosser, he has written thousands of songs at this point, including the classic Have a Peanut Butter Sandwich and Purple Bananas on the Moon, and many, many, many more. If you go to Art Paul's website and his Facebook page, you can read more about him. You can buy his CDs, and he's a painter too. He's been selling a lot of paintings.
Yeah, true.
He's also been gathering together paintings or images of paintings that he did. He's trying to find out who owns them when he sold them to kind of get a whole thing together of his
like a
oomph.
retrospective.
Yeah. So anyway, but certainly get better soon to Art Paul and to Richard.
Especially the eye. Like,
Yeah.
to me, that the worst of the eyes, the eye and the teeth and the nose.
It's like a purple egg over his eye. It's
I could look it up on your Facebook.
Yeah, it's on. Well, go to Art Paul Schlosser's Facebook page.
I gotta get it. I will. I'll look it up.
And yeah, because it was posted. Want to let you know that this Monday, March 25th, Dakin Matthews, the veteran actor, is in Antony and Cleopatra. It is a reading by the Red Bull Theater Company. Those are the folks who put on my show Restoration Playhouse back when it won an award at the Shorts. What was it? Their 10-minute play festival. Yeah, so they're doing Antony and Cleopatra, just a one-night reading, featuring Dakin Matthews, and it's being done at the Lucille Lortel Theater on Christopher Street. This is in person. This is not a streaming thing. They may have streaming too, but you have to go there on Christopher Street Monday. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I'll show it.
Why
It's like
a Dr. Seuss hat. That adds more problem. How do you hurt your eye like that?
you fall on your
Yeah,
eye.
but not hurt any other part of your.
Yeah, that is Art Paul.
I don't understand it.
What a shiner! If you get punched in the eye, this is what happens to boxers and
No,
stuff.
but I don't understand how you could do that and not hurt any other part of your face.
Well, he hurt his arm.
Yeah,
falling
maybe
forward.
It fell on that side.
Yeah. So, yeah, poor Art Paul. Karen Mason, the actress and cabaret singer, she'll be singing the songs of Julie Stein, and that will be at Birdland this coming Monday
Somebody
night.
said it's an opportunity to get in kazoo practice.
True. Unless it hurts him when he squints.
They like his beard. They hope he's feeling okay.
Yeah. You know, like 500 people wished Art Paul Schlosser well. So, you know, he's a street singer. He is a painter. He's kind of an alternative artist. But you know what? He's got a lot of friends wishing him well, which is kind of great. Tanya Pinkins, the actress, is going to be in...
Someone said he should go to urgent care.
A little late for that.
That's a real friend. Get yourself to urgent care.
Tanya Pinkins and Tova Felchu are both appearing in...
Someone said, is there anything you need or anything I can do? And someone said, ice and elevation.
Yeah, well, yeah. We were just looking at that last night. RICE, R-I-C-E, for my shoulders. Yeah, rest, ice, compression, and elevation.
Yeah, but you can't compress
No, compression's not good. But I wouldn't compress his eye. That would be a bad...
No, but ice on that sucker, because it's going to get worse. Because when you first get hurt, like when I fell, my knees looked normal. And then by the time I got to the acupuncturist, my knee looked like chopped meat and chopped liver. And like, it was horrific.
Chopped liver, I could...
And she looked at me and goes, oh, it's not that bad. I'm thinking, oh, God, what has this woman seen? I was like,
what do you think this woman has seen?
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Anyway, Tanya Pinkins and Tova Felchu are in a 3-day performance of Windows that's being done at Town Hall in Midtown Manhattan from Monday through Wednesday of this week.
Oh my God, somebody said the road rose up to meet you. It's the same
Oh, that's funny.
Yes.
That is good.
That's the same
May the rose right to meet your eye.
May the rose right.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I mean, that's road rage, where the road is actually raging on you. Yeah.
Like, my knees got messed up, but my knees are, I mean, I'm going to eventually need new ones, but they're bones. I mean, that's like soft tissue. Oh, I hope he went to the urgent care. I think they're right.
Mm.
He needs some help.
Well, if he can get concussed, why not?
No, but he could have broken the occipital, like this socket, or like, you don't know what. you don't know what you did. Like the eye is like a place you don't want to play around with. I'm sorry, David. That's that's rough.
Yeah. I mean, and anybody who punched you in the eye, I think their punishment should be 30 lashes.
Oh, honey, here we go.
Oh,
Your
our
friend
other
of the
friend,
neighborhood.
our friend of the neighborhood, Humongous Sean Altman, enjoying Purim a couple of hours early.
A little bit too much.
Delving into look at behind him is like Beetlejuice from the Howard
What is
Stern
that?
show.
Let me see.
Look
Hold
at the
on.
head of that person.
What's going on?
It's like an eggplant with a bush on it.
No, that's a vase.
That's a vase?
Yeah, he's in some. I don't. Where is he? Where is he?
It looks like he was on a plane or a bus, maybe.
I don't know where he is. he's being
Like a big shout out to Sean Altman of Humongous fame. I can't.
Potato tour.
Oh.
They have groupies.
Just scrolling. Any other cool
Why
Facebook
do
things?
people write in caps? I just found out that my short film, The Lifters, you can see on Vimeo film site. Just type lifters. Why is it in capital letters, honey?
Well, then once you can notice it,
I know,
you
but
did.
the whole thing. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What's that?
Mating season and gator season. Those are all alligators.
Holy shit!
It says, for those of you who've never witnessed South Carolina beach during gator season, I guess this is their spring break.
This would never. I thought they'd do it in the water or something. This is nuts. This is nuts. This is amazing. Look at that. Those are alligators
Yes.
up and down the beach, stooping other alligators. Wow. Wow.
You have a lot of odd Facebook friends. I'm just telling you that, David.
Hey, how does an alligator use a phone? They crocodile. Nothing.
I don't know.
By the way, it's noon. Oh my God, we're well after noon already,
I don't
Eastern time,
understand any
here
of
in the
your-
neighborhood.
I don't understand
Want my Facebook stuff?
any of your Facebook friends. I think.
Yeah. Well, most of my people are nuggy. You know that. Fittingly, but our friends of the Daverhood are not so nuggy. They're active. They're creative. They're doing great things. For example, Mike Lemmy, the playwright, his play called "Before the Drugs Kick In." It keeps getting extended,
Well,
and
here's
they're
another
doing it
friend
at
of
Theater
yours.
Lab in Midtown.
You remember her?
Oh, this is Nina Conti
Yeah.
and Monkey. No, this is not Nina Conti. This is her monkey friend.
It's very cute. Okay.
Yeah.
You have a lot of strange Facebook friends, David. I'm a bit worried. And now they're doing like Dalton Abbey. Why do people post their Wordle scores? I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get. They're proud that they got it in 2. Well, yay
Who
for you.
cares? I mean, I think that's just weird.
It's a communal thing. It's kind of a way of saying, I'm playing Wordle too. How did you do? Did you do better? Sometimes they'll post if it took them 6. Yeah.
Injections from the
Well, what's that?
That's where we used to go Sherry on the west side. It's a show.
Oh, wow. Well, because it's Purim, because it's late in the day for Shabbos services. This is live from B'nai Jeshurun, which is kind of the hipper. So I guess they're probably doing the Megillah, and I don't really see them in costumes. I think they're doing the serious shit now, but no, because it's an enormous tallis. What the hell are they doing?
I don't know, honey. I think they're going for the Guinness Book World Record, babe.
Of the longest tallis. But do the fringes count? Because they are sort of a fringe organization.
I don't understand half of I don't know what half the things mean in your Facebook.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? People who watch this show don't know what half the things mean that I say or that we do. So it's sort of fitting.
Oh, Karl Malden was born today.
Karl Malden, the actor? Yay! Yay. Any others? Matisyahu?
Yeah, it's coming to Brooklyn.
Oh, when?
It's called Hold the Fire Tour in March 23rd, which is, what's today, the 22nd?
Today. It's today for Purim. That's so cool. I tried to get him when I was at the student radio. I tried to get his people and get him on the show, but no.
Yeah, there's a lot of I don't understand what's going on.
I stopped understanding what's going on many years ago.
Pictures of letters people write them. I don't know. The ads are crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, any ads that are orphans in Gaza, please
No,
block.
it's not that. The ads are like for a lot of home goods.
Oh, there's nothing crazy about that. It's home goods. We shop there. Any others? All right. Well, again, also congratulations to Mike Lemmy on his play Before the Drugs Kick In. I think they're bringing that to Edinburgh or some big festival.
This is just
so
an
yeah.
example of an image they share with you. It's a man having a dinner with a black hole. I'm not sure, but that means something.
Wouldn't that be Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg?
know
No, I
what
don't know
this
what that
means.
means. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. This is my internet life, and this is my other internet life, doing this show for all of you. Want to let you know that it's an Austin Pendleton alert.
Oh, they say that the Princess Kate has cancer. She announced that she had.
Kate Middleton has cancer.
What of what?
I didn't really read.
Because they were hiding her, and then like anytime. This is the thing. Like, why not just come out with anything? Because the more you hide something, the more drama. Is that true?
True.
Like.
But you know what? In our culture, even if you come out with something, even if you say this is
different,
it's still going to ask you 4 million questions, and they're still going to doubt what you're saying. So you might as well not, because I get it. I get the fact that.
But why did they say? They said it wasn't cancer.
Or they didn't deny, or they didn't say what it was or wasn't.
I don't understand.
So I wish her well. Obviously, that's not
we do.
that's not good. Yeah. Well, no, there are people I would love to get cancer.
I don't understand anything anymore.
Welcome to my life. So there. Anywho, let me finish telling people that we have an Austin Pendleton alert. He is directing his own play. It's a revival of his well-received piece, Orson's Shadow, and he's doing that at Theater for the New City. It's already running, and it runs till the end of March, so you have one more week to see it. And then Charles Busch wrote and stars in the acclaimed play Ibsen's Ghost that they're doing at 59E59 theaters. That is running now through the middle of April. And speaking of directors now, that Charles Busch is writing and starring, Gabriel Barry is directing the new off-Broadway revuesical, A Sign of the Times. It's at the New World Stages. It was originally produced by the York Theatre Company, running now through early June. Lillias White is on Broadway in Hadestown. Alan Menken's music may be heard in Aladdin, and also off-Broadway in Little Shop of Horrors. Want to let you know that Seth Bisson-Hirsch's Seth's Talent Showcase happens every Tuesday night at Don't Tell Mama in Midtown Manhattan. He's done more than 8. You think it's kind of cool, like I've done 900 and something shows, a lot of them, past few years on the interwebs and just singing in a radio studio. He has done this cabaret thing, sitting at the piano at Don't Tell Mama, more than 800 times now. So kudos to Seth Bisson-Hirsch, and see him on Tuesday nights. Then we have, of course, Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, who hold court Tuesday evenings at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks play Birdland two times on Monday evenings. And then, of course, Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. And also a reminder that Michael Garin is the resident pianist at the Roxy Hotel in Tribeca. You can see him all week long, Tuesdays through Saturdays at the Roxy. StageBuggy.com is a website of New York nightlife and theater and culture and stuff to do in New York, founded by our friend Evan Seplow. David Sheward writes for TheaterLife.com, CulturalDaily.com, and my own TotalTheater.com. He reviews theater. Want to let you know that Leslie Hoban Blake and Charlie Gross co-host Two on the Aisle, which you can find on YouTube as well as Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And gotta give a love shout out to Vicky Quaddy, who does Late Night Catechism and Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun in Chicagoland and thereabouts. Basically every week. I mean, she's always been doing it for years, and many, many, many more years, God willing, to come. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, It is, if you can believe it, 12:15 already here in Daveland, the Daverhood. We've been doing the 936th episode of Dave's Gone By. We've been calling it the Suzuki Method in honor of our guest, John Suzuki. And of course, Joyce is here with me, my darling and wonderful wife. I'm here with me. Potato has taken part. Teeth are with us. What else could there possibly be to... Oh, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, for many years now, since Joyce and I lived for a while in Colorado, I took it into my head to write a poem about as many places in Colorado as I possibly could. I thought,
What's
cute
the
little
place?
poem.
What's the place?
Today's, you can do the setup. There's not a lot about it, but today's Colorado Limerick of the Damned, we will be going to Lazear, Colorado. I'll spell it for you. Lazear. Lazear, Colorado. And I have a limerick, a disgusting, horrible one, of course, about it. Let me get the music up for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
You're the poetry man.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain, Colorado, Colorado, Colorado.
Yes, indeed, Rocky Mountain High. Even though Joyce and I, we lived in New York for a while after Colorado, and now we live in Maryland, still have fond memories of Colorado.
David, I've never heard of Delta County, and I've done research throughout Colorado. I've never heard of that county.
Huh. Have you thought about triangulating? Yeah, because Delta's like that. Or use the Force. Well, the Delta Force. Comedy. Comedy's what I do. So, can you find anything about Lazear?
It has 168 people in a post office. That's all.
Yeah, but that really, yes, that's it. It's the demographic.
Oh,
What?
So it's near Gunnison. I know Gunnison. Delta County's near Gunnison. I know that.
All right, so it's not that far.
I was there.
So Lazear itself is an unincorporated town, and
it's a census designated place. It says.
Ooh.
It's near Cedar Ridge, Crawford, Hotchkiss, Orchard City, Paonia, Austin, Corey, and Eckert.
There you go.
But it's an undesignated place.
So it's about 2.5 square miles, which is bigger than some of the other places that we've been doing on our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. It's mostly white, and it's 2/3 male, which is an interesting, not a town you want to go
I don't see that.
if we're looking for puss. So, maybe go more to the ski areas if you're looking to hook up or something.
Gunnison I like.
Joyce mentions the post office that was founded in 1912. And the whole thing was named after the founder of the town, J.B. Lazear. And it's one of those times, at least I was able to find how you pronounce it. Because some of these things, is it Lazear, is it whatever. It's Lazear, apparently. And now, ladies and gentlemen, now that we've given you really everything anybody needs to know about Lazear, Colorado, let me cap that with a 5-line poem, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. 'Twas talk of the town in Lazear. That night Lindsay Lohan was here. She taunted the mayor and dared him to lay her, then took a shit in her brassiere. As I said, please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. You can also message me right here on the Facebook page under the show, or direct message me if we're friends, or even if we're not friends. I can probably read what you're writing. So I'm happy to hear things you liked about the show, things you have to suggest. And I can't necessarily respond to everybody, but I do my best and to give thumbs up or just acknowledge. But understand that I do try and read everything that comes in. So, davesgoneby@aol.com, and please also remember davesgoneby.com is where our archives reside for free, for downloading, for streaming, both the audio and the video, and of course every episode, all our songs that we've done, novelty, crazy songs we've done, skits, and our interviews. Plus, you can find much of our work on archive.org, the Dave's Gone By channel. Our audio files are also available at castbox.fm. We've got a YouTube channel. Basically, anywhere you look, there's some Dave's Gone By. It's pretty easy to find the thousands and thousands of hours of Dave-mertainment. No, Dave-tainment. Gotta work on it. That one I've got to work on. Daverhood came like that. Daverhood is wonderful, but Dave-tainment? No. Left-go-tainment. Left-go-tainment? No. We'll work on it. Anyway, please be with us next Saturday morning, because it will be, at that point, what was it, March 30th by then. We're happy springtime, folks. Happy Easter for those of you who celebrate. Happy Purim. Shalach manos. Give your neighbor a free bagel, and don't taint it with chemicals or something. Just to say, hey, we're next door. They're about 3 days old. We're not going to eat them. They're still okay. I mean, they're not as soft as they were a couple of days ago, but they're perfectly edible. Put them in the microwave. Sprinkle a little water for free. Come on, for free. We're neighbors. So give shalach manos, this kind of gifty food thing to a friend. Eat hamantashen, which are these triangular pastries and goodies that we looked at Sean Altman eating.
Oh, wait.
Oh, right. I think it may be on the top shelf. Is it?
Oh, thank you. Yes, hold on.
Whoa. Perfect time. Joyce is going to find it right now. It's a game that we found at some place. There he is.
Here's the bunch. Hold on, let me get it to the bunch.
Oh boy. Where it's sort of like a matching game or like concentration where you have all these things and you try and match one to the other. So she found one.
There's got to be more than one.
Well, it's got to be two. There's got to be one of each. So Joyce is flipping through them very quickly. I can't believe she's doing so quick.
I'm trying hard.
Oh, that's for Hanukkah. Hey, where's this? There's got to be a second one. Mazel tov. Yay. Okay.
So these are good and bad here.
Here we go. Okay, I gotta get these. So, ladies and gentlemen, happy Purim. This is, look at that, hamantashen, or as I guess the what is it? Avzani Haman. Haman being the Hebrew name for Haman, the guy who tried to kill us all.
They look like prune ones.
Well, they are. These are the prunes, which was the tradition. We have prune when I was growing up. Prune and muin. So prune was prune.
Yeah.
Muin, I don't even remember what the hell muin was. Muin was like poppy seed.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, they were both good.
Poppy seed.
But prune was better.
Oh, okay.
Moon, you got prune, and you're like, moon. I'll eat it.
That would be like the raisin bran of them.
Yes, exactly.
Not necessarily awful, but not the first thing you go to.
And now you get chocolate filled, you get raspberry filled. Raspberries actually makes the most sense because
used
it's.
to make good ones. Your Aunt Bonnie made good ones because she was a good baker with them. Yeah.
She could do that, but they are, they represent spring. They're supposed to represent evil Haman's three-cornered hat.
There's a robin sitting in our tree.
And what they wouldn't tell us when we were in Hebrew school in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade is that it's also sort of a renewal thing, and it's kind of like a woman's vagina, and the goo in there is like,
oh, really?
yeah, for making babies
Show
and
them
things.
the other things, the other two I gave you that
Speaking of a woman's
you're
vagina,
not supposed to throw out. Remember the ones
yeah,
that, that's like, it looks like they throw that out from that store.
And bagels. Bagels and bialys, both completely appropriate for Purim, as is drinking to excess, but please don't drive. And how this would be.
Just bring a little hot water.
This is genius. All the others are natural. They're Jewish foods. This is like not just a tea bag, because Jews are known for drinking tea and things. And my grandfather Morris, my mom would tell me about this, that he used to, when she was growing up, he would drink a hot cup of tea, and he liked it sweet, but he wouldn't put sugar in
Oh my
the
God, the
teacup.
robin is watching us.
He wouldn't put sugar in the teacup and stir it around. He would, and Jews would do this. He would hold the sugar cube
How could he
in
drink?
his
How could
teeth
he drink?
and sip, and this is how he liked to
How
have
could
it.
he drink?
I don't know. He did. This is what they did. They figured out a way to it's Polish.
Yeah, and he didn't like to cut his meat, so he put the knife in his mouth and put it in.
He would put a wedge of steak on his tongue. This is so good. Oh, yeah. But true story. But the idea that Jews are so cheap that they would celebrate a tea bag that they would use again. I don't know what this. Can you look that up? Can you look up why used tea bag? I don't think it's just that we're cheap.
Okay.
It could be. It could be.
What is the meaning of a used tea bag for Jewish people? Here we go.
I mean, we're not such perverts that we
This is from here.
we teabag our wives and things. But what is it? This is
from this company.
Oh, okay.
They'll
One of the
explain
most common features of the Jewish kitchen isn't found in a pantry or cupboard over a fridge. It's a tea bag. Specifically, a used tea bag.
I do it with my K-cups sometimes too, so I'm guilty. I reuse my
reuse-
K-cups,
yeah.
yes. My K-cups.
So they're air drying on the counter or creating a tiny puddle on a saucer. Yes.
Oh.
Why? For my parents who were otherwise coffee drinkers, a cup of tea was a nightly ritual when I was growing up. They didn't go for anything fancy or herbal or decaf. It was Lipton all the way. And they would share a single tea bag between the two of them,
Oh, that's beautiful.
probably because of the caffeine. So it's less caffeine for the second person anyway. They would, and then leave it on the counter for the next night.
Oh!
I didn't keep track of how long they'd make it last. It's entirely possible that they had only the one tea bag. Now, I've heard similar stories from Jewish households for decades. Maybe it's a reflection on the ancient Talmudic principle of Bal Tashlich, or Tashchit. I really should put my glasses back on. Bal Tashchit, preventing needless waste. Yeah, because a tea bag that you've used 5 times, don't try it. Yeah, okay. Or a more generationally specific
Don't be pedantic. Generational.
tendency among children of the Depression growing
My
up poor in
grandmother was
Jersey
like that.
City.
She'd say the toothpaste till the end. You know, everything you wore and you used till the end.
My grandmother would never have wasted something as precious as a tea bag. And when I moved away to New York, I kept a small box of Lipton in my cupboard from my parents' weekend visits, annual weekend visits. And once when my parents and my aunt were all at my apartment, I made them tea, being careful to use one tea bag to make all 3 cups. But when I tossed the used bag in the garbage afterwards, they howled, "It's still good! You can use it again!" And I protested, "I don't drink tea. To me, tea tastes exactly how you would expect, like hot grass clippings.
It's delicious.
I make it once. I like tea. I make it once a year for you, and you're leaving tomorrow." They relented, grumbling because they're Jewish, but I could almost hear them wondering if it would be so bad to keep the bag on the counter until the next year. That was written by Wayne Hoffman of Tablet Magazine.
Well, this tablet is the one who made the game.
Oh, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I never heard about this, but there you go. The sense of not wasting.
Tofuti.
Oh, that's a Jewish thing. Yes.
Yeah, tofuti is a Jewish thing. And the next one is simis, tuna fish.
Yeah.
Whitefish.
Yeah.
Wine.
I don't want the white fish. That's me whining.
Zebra?
What? What?
Do you know what that is?
They're not yerba mate.
Stuffed grapes.
Ooh,
Stuffed with hashu, meat and rice. Syrian dish.
that's all right.
Mm.
Is it called zebra?
Mm. Yemenite bread.
Mm.
Yemenite beef. Converso stew. A dafina, which is probably apples. Babka.
Babka. That's the one Jewish word all goyim know from Seinfeld. And then, of course, there's this.
Read and see what it says.
The 100 most Jewish foods. Bacon.
Read what it says, yeah.
Bacon is not just treif. Bacon stands alone. Bacon is the final frontier, the last temptation of the kosher keeper, the quintessential forbidden food that appeals precisely because it is so darn delicious. It's the ultimate umami, I agree, and it's everywhere. The breakfast buffet by the eggs, on that hamburger at lunch, diced into a fancy salad. I want bacon now. No one, and this is kind of true, no one has gone kosher ever pines for, I think I would pine for lobster once a year, or crave shrimp once every 2 years or
you hate
so.
that with the barbecue place, so you don't like shrimp.
Well, no, I like the shrimp. I just don't want to pay
I
$14
know,
for
I know,
7 shrimp.
I know.
But bacon is a different story. Bacon defines Jewish food. The way Voldemort defines Harry. You can't think of one without the other. I wish you would get into, though, what my mom made
What?
all those years when I was growing up, and we were kosher, fairly kosher.
Here's bagel. You want bagel?
Well, wait a moment on that, because she would get, and it was a genius idea. They created kosher bacon. Because you can't use pig, but you can use cow, which is closer. It's like crisp pastrami, and they call it fried beef or fry beef. And it was a pain because you had to make it like bacon. You had to get the skillet up, put the thing in there, and fry it up on a griddle. And then, of course, if you had bacon like with breakfast or fried beef with breakfast, then you couldn't have milk. You couldn't have any dairy for the next 6 hours because Jews are crazy. But it was delicious. It was completely. It was like a stick of nitrite that you were putting in, or nitrate that you're putting into your body. But it was yummy. And for those of us who couldn't have bacon, it was an absolute wonderful switch. Barbecue burnt offerings. There you go. Isn't that? Oh God. And bagels too.
Yeah.
But yeah. And also Bacos. I'm sure the person who invented Bacos was for vegetarians.
Kosher bacon here. Read
Yeah.
This has kosher bacon in it here.
Let me see. Ah, I put my glasses back on. Aaron Franklin of Austin, Texas, probably the world's greatest barbecue pit master.
Honey.
Smoked his very first kosher brisket in 2017. Well, he wasn't having a religious awakening. He was honoring Ari White and Izzy Edelman, two Jews who respectively captured the coveted Brisket King New York City title. The king of, quote, kosher bacon. Brisket is not kosher bacon. The sinewy cut, of course, has long been a staple of both Jewish cooking and American barbecue. But the latter's love affair with pork, pulled, ribs, or otherwise, meant that Jews were largely absent from the barbecue pit. Not anymore! And amen to that. If you're looking for the world's first recipe for grilled meat, look no further than Leviticus, which instructs Israelites how to build a pit and roast the burnt offering. With a bond between beef and holiness secured early on, and with kashrut paying close attention to slaughtering cattle in a specific way, sanctifying the moment of their sacrifice, it was only a matter of time before Jews returned to the fore of the meat scene. The meat scene, ladies and gentlemen.
You can find these.
Oh.
If there's any more.
Yes, we're beefing up the show with this.
Bazooka gum.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess Bazooka Joe was created and all that by Jewish guys. Yeah.
And then we have Bayali's.
Mm-hmm.
Black and white cookie.
Oh, that feels Jewish.
Yeah, it's like babka. Blintzes.
Blintz is okay. Fair enough.
Carob.
Really? I guess Karen makes chocolate or something.
Borscht.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Brisket.
But brisket isn't as salty or umami as bacon. Pastrami is closer. What is that?
I don't know, it's deep fried artichoke challah.
Mm-hmm.
Haroset.
Love haroset.
Cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken soup.
Chickens, of course. The Jewish penicillin, my friends.
Maimonides.
Would you eat Maimonides? Wait. What is Maimonides? Or your Maimonides? That's a thing? Wait a minute. What?
It's chicken soup.
Oh. You mentioned Maimonides. Our own history with the dish begins illustriously in the 12th century. The great doctor and philosopher Moses Maimonides Learn from Chinese and Greek texts about chicken soup's medicinal qualities. Indeed, the idea of chicken soup as the Jewish penicillin derives from his treatise on the causes and symptoms, in which he recommends chicken soup be used as a cure for whatever might ail you. What a great doctor.
Maybe our Paul Schlosser, he could go get some chicken soup.
Doctor, I have a varicocele on my chicken soup. Try it. Maimonides also prescribed a soup or stew with an old hen or cock as a panacea for the common cold. And so it's Maimonides where all that comes from. I did not know that. Maimonides knew something about cock. Who knew this?
Let's see if we got more. Just chicken.
Just?
Oh, here, wait, this one.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Chinese food. Oh.
That's your favorite.
As Jewish as matzo ball soup. It's like getting taken to the Taj Mahal for real. It's a big deal. Every New York Jew loves Chinese, except you. They can be Jewish, but they'll still eat that Chinese rib. They'll still eat that roast pork. They'll still eat that fried rice. And lo mein is heavy duty in the, in the Jewish community. One big staple in my household was the egg foo young my mom would purchase. Yeah. I don't fuck with it. This is right here. This is obviously not from Leviticus anymore. But my mother would always get it with that sauce. That's old school shit. So for years I would get the chicken and broccoli until I started getting sesame chicken and General Tso. Is it lunchtime? Kung Pao. But always with an egg roll and always with hot mustard. Always. There were so many little cups of that mustard in my house, I never had to ask for them. There were times I had Chinese food 6 times a week. Beef with rice noodles, Szechuan cucumbers. Chinese food is not a phase. This is forever. This is a lifestyle. A Jewish. Jewish. I missed that. Jewish something. Jewish. Some.
It's
cookbook.
a lifestyle, Jewish lifestyle.
Yeah.
Cholent.
Yeah.
Chopped liver.
Yeah.
Compote.
Well, we have a compote heap out back.
Concord grape juice.
Yes! Manischewitz Concord, yes! Joyce is skimming through.
Cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Cream
Breakstone.
cheese.
Yeah.
Dates. Oh, it's in alphabetical order. That's why deli.
Deli, of course. Deli.
No, you gotta stop.
Yeah, we're getting on here, yeah.
We're only up to D.
So anyway, I'm D for David, and that's my wife Joyce, and we've been doing the 936th episode of Dave's Gone By Live on this March 23rd, 2024. Thank you again to John Suzuki. Go get his book, American Grit. Thank you to Rabbi Sol Solomon. Check out his website, shalomdammit.com. Thank you to my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. And thank you to me. Don't forget to check out my other website, davelefkowitz.org. If you want to read my work, if you want to read my plays, my song lyrics, my interviews, all sorts of crazy, crazy stuff, davelefkowitz.org. Well, it is long overdue, so it's almost 20 to 1 at this point on this Saturday. But we've had so much fun with you. I hope you had fun too. Please be with us next Saturday, March 30th. Wow, March 30th for the 937th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. Until then, have a great Purim. Have a fine, well, wait, is Easter this weekend or next? I think Easter's going to forget the Easter thing. But definitely have a great Purim. Have a fine spring and gone by.